Um, Hello. I hope everybody can hear me. It's not like I'm nervous, but it's very hard for me to kind of think about this straight, but luckily I am keeping myself at a stable level with a script so I could stick to it. And at the same time, this is a very serious conversation because it took a while for me to gather the courage to discuss this with those that have spoken to me for the past couple weeks and a month ago. And honestly, I'm perfectly okay. I am in a much, much better place where my mental state is very stable. My physical state is also stable. My emotional state is, however, very easily not, well, it's very easily unstable because um, I'm a very emotional person. But it's come to my attention that I need to make this. And this is something that I've been needing to do because I realize that there has been some behind the scenes going on, and I'm sick and tired of people trying to silence the people that are being truthful. Sick and tired of people trying to literally play this as it's a lying thing. And because I know that there's people that are getting harassed because of it, I'm kind of sick and tired of these two people. And you know what? I'm going to be talking about it. Since January 21st, I posted about my ex, Takaido, has publicly cheated on me with NyxAmaris. I was given the truth through multiple sources that showed me multiple evidence and verbally gave me very clear details of what happened between these two and the way how they both have been since July. And I will tell you guys this. I was still dating Takaido at the time. And our breakup was private. It was mutual. And again, the post that I made was not for public attention, of wanting likes, wanting to have favoritism, wanting to have people to be on my side. Is it really for the numbers and such? No. Hell fucking no. I don't give a damn about numbers, likes, and whatever. Because the reason why I posted this is because I gave Takaido 3 tries to give me the truth. One, that he told me through a Discord call that he wanted to break up with me. The second was when we officially broke up on TwitchCon. And then the third one was when I confronted him back in October, a week after TwitchCon, through a phone call. 3 times. And the thing is that I looked at Takaido as a close friend. I looked at him as my best friend, as my lover, as my person. And the thing is that this man would always excuse that the other woman was just a friend. And I was truthfully trying to be a very understanding person. And I was trying to do the very best I can not to doubt him. I was doing the very best to not overthink as the way how he always says that I do. And I always felt like I should have believed the things that he said to me because it was true. Maybe I did overthink. But now I believe I didn't. Looking back into it, reflecting into it, fitting the timelines of how not just me, but other people got hurt. Friends, family, and even other people got hurt because of these two. I'm not here to fight for me. I'm not here for just myself, actually. I made this post because I want them both to know that they have damaged far more than just my relationship with Takedo. They decided to damage the friendships that they created. They decided to hurt the people that even Nyx called as their partners in private. And honestly, even if I confronted them individually, they would have lied. They would have completely lied. Because that's what cheaters do. They don't admit to that shit. Because even if you pull up the evidence, they will still say it's fabricated. They will still say, don't believe bullshit. And that's what liars do. And with my post, it was not where I wanted to be an evil person and just create drama. Let's start from there. My post was to raise awareness to both of these two that they will never be clean with their hands, and them lying on their own streams upon their own friends, even my friends, of saying that I'm a liar. That will not happen, and that will not satisfy these two. Because I have truth, I have proof as well. Because I don't bullshit something serious like this. And with something like this, I am very true to my every word that this is something very harmful for others out there. Not just to me, not just to the past people that got hurt. It can possibly hurt to people that are currently going through it. Possibly people that could be victims to it in the future. Probably sooner than later. And this is why I need to bring this into attention to everyone right now. I'll have to admit to say that there were third parties asking me about evidence, wanting to seek it, and wanting to hear my side of the story, but I will not be delivering any of that to you privately. None of you guys will be given any of that, to be honest, because you guys are third parties. The only one that needed to know the truth was just me. I don't give a damn if your best friend had to want to know. I don't give a damn if it was a brother, sister, whatever. They're third party. The only people that needed to know about the truth was mainly me and Nyx's partners. We had to know the truth. There could be friends out there trying to defend for Nyx and Takedo, or try to defend me, but you guys don't have to do any of that. We have our own voices. That's why I'm using mines. That's why I don't have anyone fighting for me. Because I know damn well I can fight for myself. And I know damn well I have a backbone for that. Unlike these two. This situation could have been confessed months ago. Either out of guilt or just admitting to it. Especially if it was just between me and Takedo, he should have just admitted to it. Because he knew what of a kind of person I was. Not that I was sensitive, but he knew that I could take the damn fucking truth. And he knows damn well that I would just be very understanding of the fact that he did cheat on me, and I would have still let him go. But in a very understanding sense of saying, okay, you cheated on me. Congratulations, you found someone. Go ahead, go be with them. We're done. Yeah, it would hurt me, but it wouldn't hurt me deeply if he had just admitted to it. And for Nyx, I get it. You're a woman with pride. You're a woman with dignity and all that bullshit. But guess what? You don't respect the girls' girl code. You don't respect morals and dignity at all. You have zero of that. I get it. It's fun to have people wrap around your fingers when it comes to a community like this or content creating, or even when it comes to when men are very easily manipulated by a woman saying temptations and things like that. I get it because I've seen how everybody is like on the internet saying this and that and all that. At the very end of the day, we're all human beings. That we have a fucking heart, we have a brain that can get hurt from that kind of damage. So you need to fucking think about how you're gonna be like with men. Because the thing is, you're a grown ass woman. You're grown. You should know better. You really, really should know better because you've already probably lived through half of your life actually to know about this. You probably try to support a lot of friends that have been hurt by these things, believing that you're a woman, a supporting woman, and things like that. And you're preaching about that stuff. And yet you decide to hurt my relationship. You try to manipulate Takedo. You manipulated two other men. One man that was 2 years with you and another man that's been recently with you. And possibly a third person too. My post was also to clarify that I really don't fuck around when it comes to serious shit. Not just about cheating. It's also about my friends, even when it comes to a very serious thing. I don't condone any of those kind of behaviors. And even if it doesn't happen to me, I still speak out on it because the thing is, at least I'm able to call out people on their bullshit. Because the thing is, I feel like everybody needs at least one person to literally pull them back in reality and realize that you're a fucked up individual. And the thing is, I can admit, even I know I'm not perfect. Even I know I have flaws. Even though I know I have imperfections I still have to fix on. But at least I can still admit that I could be fucked up. But Takedo and Nyx, you both can't admit that. Because you both want to be fake, put a facade, fake personalities online, try to pretend as if you're a very welcoming person, try to be all like communicative with your community, welcoming and all that stuff. When in fact, you guys are just fake. Unless you guys are really trying to role play, then you guys should literally role play in only the sense of being on stream, and when you're off stream, literally show more of your real self. I get it. You want to make money. I get it. Content creating is probably one of the coolest things to have right now because it's so big. But again, right now is not the time for me to teach how everybody should have relationship advice or how content creating or how the rules runs in this place. Because I'm not doing this right now. What I'm doing right now is to bring justifying, well, not justifying, but justice to the actions that you both caused. Not to me, but to others. Because there's others that have been hurt already. They've been deeply hurt after they found out the truth about the both of you. After what you both decide to lie. What you both decide to scheme behind everyone's back to pull a fake front in front of your own friends, your own family, even in front of your partners that you guys are still with. Even in front of your own community. Since I had my post, on around January 22nd, I was reached out by two of Nyx's former partners. Well, actually, one could be still her currently partner. I will call them partner 1 and partner 2. And this is my proof right here, where I was messaged privately through Discord. I had Discord message request. The first one is from partner 2, who has dated Nyx for 2 years. Everybody can say that this was fabricated, but I literally don't even know how to fabricate Discord. I literally don't. I think that's the most stupid ass bullshit ever to fabricate a Discord message. Like, guys, I'm a little bit still dumb too to fabricate something, so I'm not even intelligent like that. And then partner one messaged me as they have broken up pretty recently last month. And honestly, I decided to reach out to partner one instead of partner two because I was more confirmed with partner two could be still currently cordial with Nyx, currently probably still amending with her lies and such, and could still be by her side and supporting her. And you know what? I can't judge you for that. There's no way for me to even have an opinion on that because I know some people take back partners that cheat, so there's nothing for me to say there. But again, I'm not there to fully explain myself. So instead, I talked to partner one. Partner one, I was honestly in distraught and hurt that Nyx decided to hurt these two men. And that Takaido, you decided to build friendships with these two. You tolerated with them, you laughed with them, you gamed with them, you even played comp with them, you even played Dead by Daylight with them, you even probably celebrated some things with them too. And it's kind of fucked. And you know what? I would say this. If you both can just admit that you guys are in a poly relationship, then that would be the end of what this is going to be like. I would not have actually, like, if you guys admit that you guys are in a poly relationship or Nyx isn't into polyamorous relationships, then you know what, girl? That's what you like. I congratulate you to that. And Dekaido, I've known you for quite a while, for 2 to 3 years and a whole year of a relationship even after that. I know you damn well don't like to share your woman. Unless you decide to change that and you like the idea of sharing your woman and you like to share yourself. And that's fine. Then congratulations to you both that you guys are in a polyamorous relationship. That would have been the end if you guys actually admit that you guys are into poly. Or you guys are in an open relationship. Just admit to that. It's not that hard to admit that you could be that way. There's no judgment here, actually. Like I said, if you admit to that, I would not judge you. I'm pretty sure nobody else would judge you in the community as well. Because everybody has their own understandings of that. But on the other hand, for these two partners, partner 1 and 2, it's not okay. Because I can clearly tell that they both are hurt. They feel like they got harmed and used by you, Nyx. You probably tricked them into whatever you did. You probably spoke to them, sweet talked your way. I don't know how you work your magic, girl. I don't. I'm not you. Nor do I even want to be you. And you know what? I want you both to take a second to read how these two messages just came to me the day after, or even an hour after I posted. Take it, sink it in. You guys probably will know who exactly these two people are, especially you, Nyx. I'm pretty sure you know who they are. And you know what? I'm going to say this. During my friendship and my relationship with Dekaido, honestly, I'm going to say this directly to Dekaido. I told you several times about how women and men are like in this community. They're not going to play fair. They're not going to play nice. Neither are they going to be genuine people. I told you this so many fucking times. Not because of my experience, but because we have friends that went through a lot of shit. And I thought that you would kind of learn a little bit some lessons that our friends had learned too. So that way you can be Not careful so you can hide your shitty, nasty, disgusting actions, but to be actually a genuine person and actually be a good partner out there for someone out there that's not even just me, but to someone out there in the future someday. Hell, I'm really disappointed in you. And you know what? Since I know I posted my post, you know what was the most disgusting thing that I found out? Instead of you actually admitting, you started panicking and started harassing the sources. And you started using our own friends for snitching and asking for double agents to question who gave me information and things like that. You realize how fucked up that is? Instead of you just admitting that you did something wrong or you just saying it about it yourself, you had Nyx to say I was a liar on her own stream. And you couldn't say shit on your own because I know damn well you don't even have the damn fucking balls to back your stuff up. You don't. And you know what? I'm going to say it. You're a fucking coward. You're a real coward. Shit, if you call yourself a man, I would not. You need to have backbone. Fight your own fucking battles for once, my dude. And you know what? I'm going to go back to what else is going to happen on this stream and on this slideshow because there's more. It is 43 pages long of several different screenshots from several different point of views that were given to me from several different sources. And some sources did not want to be known, so they stayed anonymous. I asked their permission. Some sources spoke to me through a phone call instead. I asked for a recording, but they were not giving me permission. So that's why it took a while for me to finally think about the stream, to finally make a final call for these two to just fucking admit that they both fucked up. And they both are very fucked up people in the head. And they mess around with hella good people out there that should be investing their chances with people that deserve it, honestly. Not these two. To be honest, I'm going to say these two don't deserve shit. I will first start with the verbal calls that I had. I will be more like summarizing them because I don't want to take too long of my time of going by detail, but I'll summarize because it's pretty easy because I know everybody doesn't read a fucking 60 to 100,000 page Google Doc and a slideshow, okay? But some confirmed with me that Nyx was actually in a talking stage during July. She was struggling with it, so she was asking some people for advice. And they came to me and told me about it. So that confirmed me with the fact that Nyx was talking to someone since July. I don't know who exactly. And around that time, in July, me and Dekaido had our 1 year anniversary on July 7th, 2025. And then a few later admitted that they knew that Nyx and Dekaido would be driving together to go to these Canadian local friend group hangouts that their friends would host. And the thing is, Dekaido has his own car. Well, he borrows his family's car, but he can drive himself. He has a license. But it looks like Nyx kept on insisting that she would drive him. To which she was still talking to this talking stage. And some sources have also confirmed with me that Nyx is usually a touchy and a physical person, teasing the men whenever she befriends them in their group hangouts. And some friends question if she had a thing with them. And the thing is, remember, this is why you don't know shit that happens off stream. And another few other sources told me that whenever Takedo and Nyx wants to go hang out, and anytime the Canadian friend group that they have, couldn't attend, they both go alone together. And they even mention that they go alone together upon this group. And I truly can't believe, I truly can't, that they both want to admit that I'm lying. Yet, all of that is right there. All of that could be given to me anytime. And at the same time, all of that, Takedo could have just been honest with me. Because I always questioned about it in my relationship. If you truly found your group of people, do you think you'd rather spend time with them so you don't have to hang out with your girlfriend that's long distance? Like, I had a lot of leeways to let him know that if he wants to do all of this, he has to just let me know. Like, he wants to go hang out so much, he wants to go hang out with him 24/7, me and him have less time together. I always let him have that decision to make. Because I was trying to be a fucking good person for once in my life to a partner that deserves to be treated right. As long as they just tell me, hey, I'm safe, hey, I'm okay, I'm with the group of friends, this and that. Yeah, he can go hang out. But he didn't have to lie. Alright, so the next slide, I'm gonna move on to the conversation that I have with partner 1, because this is a partner that she recently broke up with. And this partner has, like they said, confessed that they've been talking, they've been in a whole stage of literally doing couple shit since August, July, like around that timing of them getting to know each other. So around this time, this is where I seriously wanted to be able to be like, hey, I want you to know I'm sorry that you have to deal with the fact that you got broken up with, and the fact that you also have suspicions. I too have suspicions. And I truly just did not want to talk to any of Nyx's partners in case they do come attack me, because I always know how partners are always going to attack the person that is accusing their partner. That's understandable. But I seriously just want to have closure that these two can admit to it, so that way I can just move the fuck on and not even be around these two, because these two are so diabolical and they're such big liars and cheats. I don't want to be around that shit. And when I also showed partner 2 what partner 1 messaged me at the same time as partner 2, I said, hey, by the way, did you know that she also was in a different relationship at the same time while she's also messing with you? And you know, like I said this to myself, I try to learn a lot from observing from what other people have gone through to make sure it doesn't happen to me. I try to just seriously not be in a fucked up situation. I try not to be with the drama. I try not to seriously be someone that just talks a lot of shit, because I've seen how it always happens to friends, family members, everyone that I truly cared about from the from the very beginning of coming onto online and content creating and so on, I observed it all. So I tried my very best to prevent that. Not to say it was damage control, but I tried my very best not to be hurt. I did. So then, partner one appreciated the fact that I showed him what partner two messaged me. And the only reason why I felt like I was more confirmed about this is because on January 21st, Nyx was streaming Where One Meets. And then after I saw that, what she opened, her messages, I saw that Takedo was in a partnership with her. And I know everybody can clown me on this, but the thing is that Where One Meets partnership was known that you're marrying your actual boyfriend, or you're marrying your actual girlfriend, or you're marrying your homie so you could get the cosmetics, or you're marrying because you're in, what was it, Velvet Shade, because of the whole trope and everything. I get that. I play the game. So that's why I said, I guess this is more of a confirmation, because the thing is, I know damn well Takedo doesn't know shit of how this game works. That's how much I know this man. And the thing is, partner one told me this is the reason why they broke up. It was because he found out that she decided to marry Takedo instead of wanting to marry partner one, because the thing is, I found out partner one used to be friends with Takedo too. And after I started aligning a lot of the shit that I observed through my relationship within the timeline, and then furthermore, when the partner started sharing me more about the issues going on between him and her and stuff, this is where it got so, so deep into knowing that this is all real. This is unbelievable. This is very hurtful. This is very fucked up in the head of these two people. Because from what partner one told me from left to right, is that partner one has been there constantly with these two motherfuckers. Physically. Because all three of them are locally close to each other. And they hanged out in the same fucking Canadian group. And Takedo met this man. And met this woman and all that, and yet he thought it was okay. He thinks that's a quote unquote thing to do, to mess with my head because I'm long distance and I don't see shit like that. And you know what? In my DMs with Takedo, in my relationship with Takedo, I thought he was actually an honest man. I actually thought he was really trying his best to just be a good boyfriend, because he always told me that he felt like he wasn't doing his role, he wasn't doing his job. And I always feel like a piece of shit for always addressing things. I always feel like I was in the wrong. Maybe I did degrade him, or maybe I did talk down to him. Maybe I belittled him. Maybe I really was a bad person. But overall, maybe it was a good thing that I did. Because all of this confirmed to me that you are a piece of shit. You're a complete piece of shit, Takedo. You're a fucked up man. I get it, you're tempted because you saw a woman's body or whatever. I get it. That doesn't mean you actually fucking hurt the person that was by your side. That doesn't mean you hurt the person that you promised that you wouldn't hurt. That doesn't mean that you hurt the person that you told her to cry for happy tears and not sad tears. And that's the one thing he always told me not to cry for. is not to be sad and cry for happiness. All I can think is about that he made me so sad. Throughout all of this. He didn't make me happy. But overall, you just make me more sad. Now that I find out the truth. And every time I look back at my DMs with Takedo, trying to fit the timeline of when he started lying to me, I just get even more sadder. Because sometimes I question, why did I deserve that? Like, am I really someone that deserves to be hurt overall? But all I ask is just for honesty and truth. And just to ask someone, if you're done loving with me, you just have to admit that you're done loving me. And he didn't want to say any of that until October. And it's so fucked. I know in my next live shows are gonna be several of my suspicions, where I'll summarize what they are. But they're all mostly videos. Because I'm gonna show you guys, I actually didn't fucking edit anything. So these are just more screenshots of partner one admitting to me that, yep, all these timelines of what Nyx has been doing with the Kaido, and while she was also talking to me, and he was with you, they all aligned. And me sussing out why he wanted to hang out with her so much in September and October, it made so much more sense. It made so much more sense. She was ready to try to fucking ruin what me and Takaido have. Like, I don't know what I did to this girl. I don't know why she's so fucked up in the head. And honestly, I'm gonna say this. I don't even care if you were jealous of me, you hated the fact that he treated me good or whatever, but you had to pick my relationship out of everyone's. You're so fucked up. And these are more screenshots where there was a suspicion that there was a third partner with this woman. And partner one was honestly very uncomfortable and suspecting things that it wasn't right. And he honestly feel like betrayed. And the thing is with me is that I honestly thought that this possible third partner, allegedly, was her boyfriend this whole time, actually. Because me and Dakaido had a few of our arguments about him and Nyx getting too close and things like that. I put some time to hang out with Nyx, to get to know her, to be like, why is he so into this girl? I need to know who is this friend of his. But she was very fascinated with one of her mods, where she would always beg him to play games with her, or every time he's on, she would be like, oh my god, he's on, let's play. And she always says his name like in a way like a owner calling a dog to pet them and stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe that's her boyfriend. Maybe that mod was her boyfriend at the time. So now, going into the DMs I had with Takaido, everybody can make fun of me. You guys can make fun of the flirting and such. And You guys can meme about it even. It's okay. I'm not gonna get mad at you guys. I get it. It can be cringy. We've seen all how people clown everyone. But around this time, my internet cable was actually broken. It was during a rainstorm. And around this time was the day that they went to a Studio Ghibli festival, to which, in my knowledge, to what I know, is that Takaido only told me vocally he's going to this festival with a friend, and he never addressed who it was. To which later partner one admitted to me it was Nyx. And you know what's even fucked? While this conversation was happening, where I was just trying to tell Dakota, like, I really miss you. I wanted to play games with you. I wanted this internet to come back because I'm honestly so pissed off. I did not know that he was going to the mall. Unless he did tell me, I don't remember it. And you know what? I can get mad at myself for not remembering that. But I do recall that he was going to the Studio Ghibli Festival. And the thing that's so fucked is that Nyx went with him, to the mall. And she knew that he was going to buy me gifts at Studio Ghibli because the thing is, Takaido knows how much I really adored and admired those films. And the thing is, I also found out from one of the sources that they told me it was actually a group hangout. It wasn't just them both, but going to the mall, it was just them both. And the thing is, Takaido told me throughout this whole video, alright? And let me tell you guys this, it's not edited. It's not edited. At all. Nope, it's not. I hate Canva sometimes. But eventually, down throughout the video, he shows me pictures that he wants to buy certain pants. He wants to buy some things. Yeah, so like, I think that's why I remember he told me he went to the store. And then he was talking to me about, see, this is why I said my memory back then, if I was back then, yeah, I would remember. But right now, I've gone to the point where I don't remember him anymore, okay? But he was talking about his pants that he wants to buy and everything. And the thing is, I didn't even know he was going with this woman. I didn't know shit. He didn't inform me any of this. I thought that he was going alone, to be honest. Because usually, every time he's usually going out alone, it's usually him just driving himself to go quickly and then come back home. Or he would drive to the subway, meet with his friends to do whatever activity, then come back to the subway and then drive back home. That's usually what his, like, whole thing is. And honestly, I was just very much, like, unaware of all of this. I was just kind of like, wow. So throughout all this time when you were talking to me, you were going to the mall, you didn't want to address me that you went with Nyx, actually. And at the same time, you know what? Yeah, that's his hand. But you know what, guys? I found out they had a second hangout. And I did not know about this. I believe they were just alone as well. Because from what the source told me, they couldn't really attend. So they both just went alone together to this location. Of course, I'm not going to dox where it is because, you know, it's a very specific name. But they went to an exhibit. That's how I can remember that's what it was called. Thing is, this man told me he's not a museum guy. He's not an aquarium type of guy or all of that. Yet you do it with this woman? Bruh. That's all I can say, bruh. And the thing is, he lied to me that he only hung out with her twice through that friendship of theirs. Only twice. And that was a lie. Because turns out they hung out more. And around this time, this is where I found out about the second hangout when they went alone. Like, I really, really did not know. And this is around the time when he was telling me, like, he was busy, he had plans, he might have, and I was like, oh, okay, please let me know. And then he never told me that he went out dinner with her and their friends. And the thing is, he lied to me the next day that this is his first time meeting this Canadian friend group, including Nyx. Where he was telling me, I'm on the subway, you better not be drinking, have fun, don't be tipsy. And then we were talking about when I visited him back during VCT Toronto. And then we were talking about his dog, because everybody knows he has a dog. And then he was telling me that he's back. And this is when I asked him, was it fun? And he said, yep, the group are chill. I was like, oh, was it like a reunion group? He's like, nope, meeting them for the first time. Right there. And that's when I asked, oh, was it VTubers? He says, I don't even know. I was like, what do you mean? He said, people from a Toronto server. And honestly, I'm angry. I'm angry. And the only thing is that I did not know about any of this because I only assumed that Nyx was at this group hangout dinner thing until much later. Kaido decided to ask me if it was okay for Nyx to use art that they both have together from IRL, from attending the festival together, if it was okay for her to have the art as her banner on Discord, which I at first was kind of like, I'm not okay with it. And it was this. And he was like, oh, don't worry, we're friendly, so don't worry. And then this is where I was a bit like upset with him. I was like, why didn't we do this when I was visiting during VCT? Yet you did it with your friend? He said, oh, it's because I didn't pay for it. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if you paid for it or not. It's about the fact that you decided to do something that is a pretty, like, kind of very weird timing that your girlfriend asked you to do something with her and you didn't want to do it with her and you rather do it with your friend. And the thing is, all these hangouts, partner one was aware about these two. He was aware of how close Nyx was trying to get with Kaido. He noticed about how they were very much interacting with each other. He realized it was very weird between the two. He was also aware of these two. So him admitting to me that he witnessed these two together at the festival, it really fucked me up. And the thing is, I'm gonna say this, Nyx, you knew that I was his girlfriend too. which isn't even fucked. And it's kind of stupid as hell that you guys want to say that I am lying when you guys are trying to literally tell your friends of this group hangout, hey, me and Dakota are going to be going out. Do you guys want to come along? Like, you guys were going to go out by yourselves and then you guys decided to do as a group invite? It's kind of fucked. And at the same time, those people can literally be witnesses to what you both are doing. So, in a way, you guys are not clean with your hands. You guys are not sneaky. You guys are not slick. You both are disgusting. That's how I can say it. And I also know this too is that some of the sources told me that Nyx also drives to Cairo. And the thing is, like I said before, Takai knows how to drive. His household has 2 cars, and he's allowed to borrow at least one. And he can come back and forth with it. But Nyx always insisted that she would go pick him up. That's what the sources told me. She always did. And let me tell you this, Takedo never told me any of that. For me, I always assumed he was driving on his own to go meet at the transit or the subway, or he would meet them at the location if it was closer. But nope. Not once did he ever mention to me that she would drive him to these things. Not once did he ever tell me, actually, I'm driving with my friend. Not even. Not even like a little small, oh yeah, I gotta pick up my friend on the way. And you know what? The reason why I was so suspicious about these two is because the way how he was trying to be alone with this woman was so wrong. We had a similar situation before where luckily it was virtual, but it was still partially why I didn't trust him completely because I didn't know what kind of a man he was. And this was still fresh in our relationship, and we had to do a lot to communicate, to forgive each other, especially with my reactions, my overthinking, my emotions, along with his childish behaviors, to want to do things with other people and not always want to spend time with me, and I don't blame him for that. And his excuses will always be, I'll remember next time, it's okay, we can do this next week, I'll make it up to you. And the thing is that the one thing that he always tells you that he'll remember next time was never true. He never fucking remembers next time. Because the thing is, I always have to point it out again and again and again and again. And it gets him to the point that he gets frustrated and irritated even about me talking like that to him. Can I admit that our relationship was perfect in front of everybody? Hell fucking no, it was not perfect, you guys. It looked like bubbles and rainbows and glitter and all that. Listen, that's because we did love each other affectionately. But at the same time, to get to that level, you gotta go through tons of fights. And not where it's physical or verbally abusive or things like that, but it has to get to the point when you really had to kick out all the frustrating shit out. That's why I said our relationship was never fucking perfect. Anytime anybody would say, oh my god, you guys are both so in love, you guys actually have like a very good relationship, I'm like, it got to a level where it was where we were very frustrated with each other, okay? We hurted each other, we harmed each other with each other's words, even with our own actions. We try to be as good as we can be to each other. We try to be as loving as we are to each other and care a lot about each other with expectations, boundaries, and reminders about what we want, what we should do, things like that, like how almost every fucking couple should communicate like. But I was blindsided by this man since VCT Toronto back in June and July. I was blindsided for so fucking long. And you know what? I'm gonna mention this small thing where when we decided to break up in October, during the week of TwitchCon, when he told me that his feelings were disappearing, it was during VCT Toronto. So that's in June and July. So that made me realize that we had our anniversary in July. We had my birthday in August. And he knew he had all of these thoughts, or knew that his feelings were disappearing, but he didn't want to talk about it. Especially when it's a serious thing. Not because, he should try to fight for me and things like that, but it's because he should have me understand him, that he doesn't want to sit around any longer, or he just wants to stop suffocating if he feels like he was suffocating with me, or whatever he feels like he was being belittled and such. He did not have to be with me anymore if he was already at the point where his feelings were disappeared. And I spoke like that to him during October. I told him, if you had thought this stuff, I would never have actually gotten even more mad at you with the fact that you held all that in until 2-3 days before TwitchCon was gonna happen. I wanted to fight for our relationship to continue, okay? I did have solutions to try to fix things, try to fit up to his reasons of why he wanted to break up with me. But he didn't want any of it. Because already, this man was already fucking this girl. And this is like an example of like how we were talking about this banner thing. It was just constant of me telling him, why are you acting like you have to make up for me when I already offered to you in the beginning? But you know, it's okay, fine. I'll offer to you again, over and over, every time I see like there's an activity for us to do. And I still want you to still be happy. I still want you to appreciate the fact that you gotta have fun with your friend, but it's kind of like messed up. And this is like a complete video of that whole conversation, which is why it's proof that it wasn't edited. And then this argument was about the Miko concert. And we had a phone call right after this. We had a Discord call. And this was a trip to the Miko concert in Montreal. And honestly, he told me this a bit too soon before the concert was going to happen, and a little bit when my birthday was happening in August. So the timing of me wanting to do things for my birthday, and also me also realizing that I kind of have a little bit of vacation, I kind of wanted to spend some time with him. And also because during that same time, I was also doing our TwitchCon donathon, where it was to help us to do additional fundings just in case, because we had tight budget from VCT Toronto's trip. And the thing is, this man kept on spending as much as I did too, okay? I tried my very best to not spend as much. What this man wanted to spend, he wanted to go hang out with friends. He eventually wanted to do this Miko concert last minute. And I honestly was just like, what the fuck? And even though the tickets were $75, I was still like, what the fuck? And this is like a road trip, by the way. And I did not know he was going to do a road trip, honestly. And then when he told me, I was like, why did you agree to do a road trip with actual strangers when you haven't met them before? Like, that's my mindset right there. And I was just like, so you just accepted it out of the blue from complete strangers? I was like, kind of having a little bit of safety alarm. I was having a little bit of like worry about this guy. And I was just like, I think this guy does not realize that there could be danger, like stranger danger. Hello. Complete different people. You've just met these people. You probably haven't hanged out with them like once or twice. I don't know. Maybe you hanged out with them playing games, but like I don't know if you hanged out with them more in person, which I later found out he did. So him not addressing the fact that it was a quote unquote hangout out of the blue, first time meeting these people out of the blue, da 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 da, all of that. He could have just addressed me. I already met these people since June, July, and whatever. I met them since Studio Ghibli. Like he could have been very clear about that. And eventually, we got into a phone call towards the end of this video where we were really pretty much trying to talk about how this is so out of blue. This is so like not right. And then he wants to question what's wrong with out of the blue plannings. And I was like, okay, first of all, you and I barely kind of had time together because since you started meeting these friends, like you wanted to hang out so much with them, and I get it. Like you're having a lot of fun. We celebrated my birthday. I'm glad that you did. And I'm glad that you did something great for me. I'm glad that you planned it for me. And I know that you wanted to hang out with a friend a day before my birthday. Like, I was like, I get it, but like at the same time, it was so out of like nowhere. I don't celebrate my birthday, to be honest. um, the only time I celebrated my birthday was honestly with the Kaido of last year and this year. Of last year and no, not this year. Of last year and 2024. And honestly, those two times, I was actually super thankful for him for making me realize I really want to celebrate my birthday. Because I haven't celebrated my birthday since I was like 16, 17. You guys. I was a very young kid, and all my reasons of as I was growing up, there's no point in celebrating my birthday. Other than I was 21, I wanted to drink. But like that's understandable. But still, I didn't know who was going to this concert. I really didn't. And the only thing that I asked him, okay, how many people are going? Are there any girls? And he says there's 3 men, including him. So he's one of the 3. And there's 1 girl. And the thing is, that was Nyx. And I didn't know it was her. He didn't tell me it was her. And you guys are probably wondering, how did he tell me this? It was through that phone call that we had. Because I was asking, okay, who's going to go? Like, how many people are going to go? And he said 3 people plus 1, no, 3 men and 1 woman. And then I asked him, like, are you guys going to have a place and things like that? He's like, yeah, if someone says that they're going to have a place, things like that. And then I even told him, like, sometimes I feel bad that you have out of blue plans rather than an actual, like, schedule planning of hanging out when you should look forward to the scheduled hangouts than out of the blue plans. Because what if you had something to do that day? Or what if that friend bailed on you of hanging out and then you're stuck out of like doing nothing, and I feel bad for you. Like I'm trying to be a very like concerning and also considerate girlfriend of my boyfriend's time and value and all of that. Like how can you not understand that? And he told me in that phone call, I didn't have to think that way. It's okay when people have to be busy or have to cancel last minute or have to do a rain check. And I told him I understand that completely, but to like literally have Takedo, my boyfriend, wait for 2 to 3 hours long and no response, and him waiting and waiting and waiting while he's like in a call with me or he's texting me. And he's like, yeah, this friend hasn't texted me yet. I think they're still tired, or like, I think they fell asleep. Things like that. And I tell him, like, oh, do you want to hang out, or do you want me to have someone like fill in for you? Or do you want to go ask someone else to hang out with you? Or do you want to hang out in your server so we can hang out with our friends? Like, I try to be a little bit like considerate to be like, hey, if your friend can't respond to you, we can hang out with our other friends too. And sometimes she'd be like, nah, let me just wait for a little bit. And I'll be like, okay, that's okay. And then I seriously was just kind of like, what the hell, I was like, what the hell? So then, since this Miko concert happened, since this argument happened around September, we started having an argument later on, much more further. Because Dakaido told me he wanted to get Instagram photos of his current look. He wants to have a new upgrade. I was totally fine with it. And he told me that Nyx was going to help him. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. If a friend is offering to help, there's nothing wrong with that. So then he wasn't working that day. I believe it was a weekday. I believe it was a Friday. Either a Friday or a Saturday. But I know it was sometime where he didn't work. That's all I remember. And I asked him, like, how did the photos look like? Because I was coming home. I was already, like, just because it was cold, you guys. It was cold. And I was just like, hey, how was, like, the shoe? Are you doing good? Like, everything all good? And then that's when he told me, like, yeah, the photos didn't come out good. And then he showed me a photo. And then eventually down later, he mentions that he was going to get dinner. And the thing is, they were trying to get to their car. I don't know whose car, either Takaido's or Nyx. I don't know whose. The thing is, I did not know that they probably were close to each other's distance. I didn't know they probably lived close to each other. And this is where I was just trying to do my scripts because I was an attorney at the time too. So I was just concerned about because it's already about close to 8 p.m. and they just finally getting food. So I was like, okay, probably something fast food, something very quick because it's already late. Plus, it's still kind of pre-fall time, so it's going to be cold. Plus, this guy, he gets sick easily, so I didn't want him to get sick. And I was just, flexing my scrims to this guy. And I was like, hey, look what I'm doing. Oh my God, there's Miss Bloom. And the thing is, this guy kept on telling me that he wanted to go hang out with her almost every time around at 9 p.m. And he kept on saying that he wanted to go play pool with her. And the reason why they're waiting so long during this time was because they went to, I think, a sushi joint or like a Japanese place, like he said here. And they only do walk-ins. And this is where I'm like, just go grab fast food. Why are you guys at an expensive food? We're supposed to be saving. I'm like, really? And then he's like, oh, well, we're already here, so we might as well. And they had to wait in line for 45 minutes to a whole hour. And I was still waiting for Takaido because I was waiting for Takaido because I felt a bit concerned about him not coming home soon. I actually was concerned that he may be coming home till like 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, and I want to make sure this guy is coming home safe. So I was like, I'm not going to go to bed. And then this is when he tells me he wants to play pool with her. That's not okay. You don't go out late at 10, 11, or midnight with another woman. 9 p.m. is the crossing line of I go home, bye. We can hang out another time during the day, bye. But instead, this guy wants to go hang out with this girl for the next 4 hours because they already hanged out together actually for about 4 hours since the afternoon. They've been out the whole day. So I was just kind of like, this is not comfortable at this point. And this is where I started telling him, like, you just don't want to come home and you just hate me. And he's like, I don't. And he was asking me about, sorry, my scrolling, it sometimes brings me back to the beginning of some things. And then this is when he showed me a picture, and this is her. This is Nyx, by the way. This is Nyx in front of him. So he was showing me a picture of the food. And I was like, what is that? And he's like, salmon on rice. I was like, it looks like expensive food. I'm like, let me guess, $15? And I'm like, that's still $15. And this is where I'm like, are you still going to pool? If you are, I'm going to stay out till you come back. I don't feel comfy with you staying out long with a female friend. And then he's like, I'm still going. He's like, okay, I'll remember next time so you don't feel comfortable. Really? You're gonna play that kind of card? And I'm like, dude, I don't want you to go. It's actually very late. Because let me tell you guys, this time is Central Time. So that basically means he's out with her since 11 Eastern Time because he's Canadian. So I'm just like, he's like, yeah, because we ate late. And I'm like, I don't give a damn if you guys ate late. You guys should have been ate late so late. You guys should have just gone to a fast food, grab a burger and fries, drop her off, and then you eat on your way home, eating your food on your desk that you always do. Or eat your ramen that you always like to eat. Your cup of ramen that you call as a snack. And I'm like, you can hang out with this girl another time. You can always hang out with your friends another time. But it's late. Just come home. And then that's when he's like, okay, fine, I'll come home. I'm like, I really have a weird feeling. And that's when he said, okay, I'm heading home now. So it took him about like a whole hour to come home. Like an hour or 2, hour and a half for him to come home. And honestly, guys, this is the 4th time that he hanged out with this girl. So this is number 4 hangout, by the way. And I really was just like starting to suspect a lot of wrongdoings of this man. And this conversation, a sushi bake hangout, made me really, really, really feel like there's going to be rocky things coming through this relationship. And he wanted to invite Nyx to come over to his house. And I'm like, why are you doing these kind of plans? I don't like it. You're actually inviting a woman to your house? I would understand if it was a childhood friend or if it was your homie's girlfriend and your homie's coming along. Okay? Like if his homies have a girlfriend, right? If his homies have a girlfriend or if they have a cousin they want to bring, then that's understandable. But still, you want to bring a whole stranger to your home. And the thing is, I did not know this, is that he dared to tell me that he would have his mother in his home to watch over these two. And I was like, I don't give a damn if mom or dad are in the house. I don't give a damn if siblings, auntie, uncles, the dog even. Like, that doesn't matter at this point. You're inviting a whole ass other woman, a single woman into your home, where I call my second home, to be honest, because I loved his family, okay? I really treat his family as a second family to me. So I'm just like, this is kind of fucked. And in the same way, you're also introducing a whole different woman to your family. And you think that's okay? And of course, he did ask his mother for like her opinion, and I understand that. You know, I can't argue with mothers. I can't argue with fathers even. And his mom said seems okay, but it's understandable why Yume is upset. And I just told this to Takaido. At this point, I don't know why you want to do these things. And again, not even edited. This is a whole argument. He's like, I respect your decision. And yet I'm like, then you don't fucking accept you don't accept the idea. And I was trying to be a little bit on the benefit of the doubt because I'm like, if it was her place, maybe. If she had a boyfriend, maybe, because I thought that she had a boyfriend or not. Like, I wasn't sure because he only knew her. So I don't know much about her. So I can only assume maybe she's taken because most of the times, usually, most girls are taken. So I was like, if she has a boyfriend, maybe, because her boyfriend could be there. But then at the same time, wouldn't the boyfriend kind of be upset with his girlfriend going to another man's house? So I'm just here like, actually, never mind. And now that I think about it, even her family was there. That's actually bad too because she's introducing my boyfriend to her family. That's not okay at all either. He's like, only my place because there's the market that sells it. And the thing is His whole family has a whole little market warehouse under the house. They do not need to go to the market. I've been in his house in and out. Okay, top to bottom. I know very well his home is packed with the ingredients. Okay. So I was just trying to tell him, like, you make it sound as if these plans are dates. You know that, right? It makes me very uncomfortable. But at the same time, you correct me. Am I overreacting? Am I overthinking? Because the thing is, the kite always tells me that I'm overthinking. He always thinks that I'm over, like, my head about things, or I look too carefully into these things. I'm too, like, absorbed into it, and I get the wrong idea. But I'm like, am I really though? Now that I'm here, I'm like, am I really though? Because this is telling me you want to have a date with this girl. You want to constantly be with this girl and have fun and do all this and do all that. And you know what? No, you don't do that shit. I would not do that to my own boyfriend. Even if it's my guy best friend, I would not invite my guy best friend to my house anymore. I'll be like, get the fuck out. Yeah, to move in like a box or two, but then I still tell him to get the fuck out. I'd be like, okay, bye. Thanks for helping me. Bye. I'm going to talk to my man. Like I said, if it's like a simple helping like task, understandable. But to cook in your own place, to cook at even her own place, borderline crazy sabotaging of craziness, to be honest. That's all I can say. It's crazy. It's just complete crazy. So then me and him, we had an argument much later down the lane of this conversation, because I'm like, I'm mad at you for wanting to do this. I'm really trying to tell you, like, you keep doing this, you keep doing that with her, especially. And you tell me that you're trying to get advice about it and all of that. And he's like, trying to not pin me, but he's trying to point at me as saying, I always try to be an honest boyfriend to you. I always pinpoint about who I'm with, what I'm doing, and where I'm going whenever I'm heading out. And I'm like, I know you do. You think I'm not acknowledging that? I know you do. But with Nyx, it's a lot. You keep on asking that you want to play pool with her because you couldn't play with her last time. You keep asking about, oh, I'm trying to make up with her because I couldn't hang out with her, so it's going to be at 9 p.m. What the fuck are you picking at 9 p.m.? Go out at fucking 10 in the morning or even at 11. Why 9 p.m. so much? Are you going to have her suck your dick that much? Are you going to touch her that much? Is that what you're telling me? Because the nighttime is the demon hours? Shut the fuck up. Because that's not okay. And I was trying to be as honest to the guy. I'm like, dude, I don't want to sound crazy or paranoid or feel like my suspicions are wrong, but you gotta fucking assure me right now, because this is very, very much opening my eyes to say, look out through the window. Your man is possibly cheating on you. And I was just like, wow. And I was just kind of like feeling like, he's like, yeah, it was twice, I think, to hang out with Nyx. And I'm like, that's a fucking lie now that I know. And then this is where, like, I had to jump to the gun of, like, throughout this whole relationship, I get you want to have your friends be priority over your girlfriend right now because you're making friends locally. I get that. And I get it. Your content creating is also going to be your other priority before your girlfriend. Go ahead. That's your career. Because we're long distance. And I know you get bored very easily when you hang out with me. And I know you don't even want to really watch movies with me all the time. Or even you don't want to play different games. You just want to play fucking Valorant all the time because that's the only game that can feed your fucking ego and make you feel like you can have skills in a game. I get it. But, like, dude, how do you not say that you don't want to spend time with me and you don't want to actually invest just because we're only a year in does not mean you did a lot already. You gotta keep going. You know that point of how people should have themselves fall in love with their partner all the time? That's the thing right there. You have to keep repeating nonstop. Even when you're 80, even when you're 90, even when you're 100. Repeating the same stupid, boring shit over and over, and you're still gonna love and appreciate your partner. But this motherfucker always wants fucking new things. He doesn't want to do the same old things. He wants to do new things. That's why he wants to have a new woman to entertain him locally. And the thing is, Takedo always tells me he feels bad that I always have to think this way. And I'm like, you can feel bad, but at the same time, to not feel bad. And the thing is, this is his friend, because I only know about one of his friends locally, that he hangs out frequently with. Which his friend was fine with his name not being blurred out, so I appreciate that. But this is like an old conversation, obviously. But Dekaido always tells me he feels bad every time I think that I'm not priority. He always has his friends as his priority, his top priorities actually, and his content creating even more top priority. He always says I feel bad about that. It's like, if you feel bad about this, the fact that your girlfriend's feeling like that, long distance, short distance, doesn't matter about distance at this point, then fucking prevent yourself and sabotaging your own relationship because of your own needs. Your girlfriend is literally supposed to be what your needs are. She's supposed to be your ride to die. She's supposed to be your best friend. She's supposed to be the one that you want to mess around with and fuck around, of playing in games like that, right? You're supposed to enjoy the funny, goofy shit. You're supposed to enjoy the boring shit. You're supposed to enjoy the crying moments. All those things. And you could and you don't want to do any of that with me? And this is why in this conversation, I mentioned about the banner. That's what I meant, the Polaroid thing. It's the banner art. I was like, this is kind of sad, that you're doing all of this with this one girl, and yet you don't want to do it with your girlfriend. Like, we could do a sushi bake of me and you on FaceTime. You don't want to do that? You don't want to bake with your girlfriend on FaceTime? Why? Is it because I'm not physically there trying to suck you off and whatever, jack you off in the kitchen? Like, is that really the way how you are going to be like as a man? Like, come on. And I even said this to him. I wouldn't even be surprised she went to the Miko concert with y'all. And he never confirmed that either when I said that. Because I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if she was that one female friend that you told me without mentioning a name, that she was the one that went with you to Miko concert. And I was really trying to explain to him about how I'm trying to let him have his chance to literally talk to me about why he's invested so much in this girl. And you know what he fucking did? He spun it around to say that I was just making him feel like a piece of shit in the relationship too. And the reason why he said that to me is because he felt like I belittled him because of his knowledge about things. But the reason why I speak on him is because the reason why I said this is because thing is, me and Takedo suck ass at typing this shit out. I suck ass at typing this stuff out. I'm more of a vocal person, you guys can tell. I'm a very vocal person when it comes to my feelings. I don't like typing it out because honestly, I fucking suck at English. I hate my typing. I'm not my fanfic writer days where I actually know my English, okay? But like right now, my English is so bad. No, writing ain't good. So then he was like, "No, I need to sleep. We can't call." So then I was like, "Okay, fine." And then this is when like I tell him like, this happened once during my birthday, and this is like a friend of his who I found out she was very new to their friendship, And he was like, I set out the entire day for just you and I on your birthday. And I was like, I kind of forgot my birthday was happening, not gonna lie. And he was like, how did I even make you sad? And I was like, because you plan to hang out with a female friend the day before your girlfriend's birthday because your female friend can only pick that day when you could have been like, actually, let's do it a couple weeks later. I actually have plans. And the thing is, this guy wanted to wait until midnight to send me my birthday kudo board with all our friends that gave me happy birthdays. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm grateful for that our friends are in it. However, I had to end stream because while I was streaming, honestly, I'm gonna be real, I was lurking in the stream that he had with his friend, and their whole interaction was just super, super uncomfortable for me. I'm not blaming the girl, I'm blaming the man. Okay, you guys had to remember this. I'm blaming the man throughout all of this. Throughout these texts, during this time, I'm blaming the man more. Okay, I'm not blaming the woman. I'm truly trying to be like, dude, you're literally sabotaging your relationship. You're actually trying to hurt your girlfriend, even when you know I'm trying to tell you the most simple, obvious of, hey, you're hurting me. And this guy just doesn't fucking get it. You know? He just doesn't get it. I thought he did. I thought that he was trying to understand. I always tell him, if I act out too much to you or if I'm clinging too much to you, you have to tell me. And like, I always do like the whole like icebreakers thing where I ask 100 questions with our friends in the VCs and stuff because I always think it's funny to be curious about these things. And every time Takedo answers, he always feels like I don't, feel satisfied with his answer. But it's because like sometimes his answers are very straightforward, and sometimes I wanted to be more comedic with it. So sometimes I'm like, can you say more? And he's sometimes like, what kind of answer do you want? The Takedo answer or your like hubby's answer? Like he would say like that, and I said both, and then he would say it. And then I'd be laughing. I would still be satisfied, but he always feels like I wasn't. And sometimes I feel like he just doesn't want me to talk. I kind of feel like he doesn't want me to talk. Although that he invites me to hang out with our friends and everything, like he thinks that I just don't feel like I'm included in the friends, but it's not even about that. It's about the fact that it's like, dude, you hang out with your friends almost every day, but what about when it comes to me and you? Can you be excited and look forward to us every day like that, like how you are with your friends? And can you be like telling me that you're unhappy or you just don't think that you want to answer my questions because it's too invasive or it's too boring or you find it annoying? And I held back a lot of myself. In a way, I held back a lot the love for girl that I had in me when I was with him during this kind of time because I thought that I was hurting him, to be honest. I thought that I was the bad person because eventually during this conversation, he told me that I was hurting him by making it seem like he's the dumb boyfriend and I was the smart girlfriend and he depends on me because I'm the smart girlfriend. Like he pointed that out to me. And I realized like maybe I am talking too much. Maybe a boyfriend really doesn't want to have a girlfriend be a smart mouth and things like that, or a girlfriend that actually could talk for her man and things like that. So I was just like, maybe it's a man thing, and now I feel like I'm hurting my boyfriend for that. I feel so bad for making him think that way of himself. I kind of hated myself for being the way how I am. Sometimes I feel like there won't be anyone that kind of likes this side. I feel like there's men out there that actually hate women like me. And you know, that's why I try to be someone's ideal type of other things. That's why I just try to be the quiet girlfriend. I just try to not be so invested. I let my boyfriends have freedom. I try not to complain anymore. Like, I thought maybe I had to go jump back into that mode of just autopiloting and just play the role of being the girlfriend, which is where I just stay quiet. Just don't talk about how I'm feeling and things like that. Like, sometimes I feel like maybe I have to shut down because I have to make him feel better. So that way he can feel like he can back himself up on his own things, or he could talk back for himself when his friends bully him, like banter with him and things like that. And when he told me he felt like he was feeling like I treated him like the dumb boyfriend through the relationship, I felt so fucking bad for him that I had to really punish myself for it. Like, I couldn't forgive myself, you guys. I couldn't forgive myself for reaching Takedo. Actually, felt like a shitty ass person. This is why I told you guys I'm not a perfect person. I'm not the perfect girlfriend. I thought that I got rid of the things I was trying to fix before I got with him, but I didn't realize I was inflicting pain on him. And when he told me that, I was so disappointed in myself. I told myself I had to treat him so much better. And I had to beat myself up for it, and not like physically, but I have to mentally beat myself for it because I'm like, how could you do this to a man that's trying his best? How could you not trust that this man's trying to tell you that she's just a friend or those things? Like, I have to doubt the way how I feel. I had to push back how I suspected things because I felt like a shitty girlfriend to him. And honestly, maybe I was. To him, maybe I was, but I really am sorry for being a shitty girlfriend. I really am, and I always try to do better. I always try to be patient. I always try to be understanding. I always try to ask for details because I try not to make sure I make the same mistakes. All those things I try my best not to do because I loved him so much that if I hurt him, I probably would hate myself so much for hurting him. Even right now with this fucking stream, I feel like I'm hurting him. I feel like I'm hurting the man that I loved for a whole year. Because I promised him that I wouldn't hurt him. But the thing is, he hurt me. He hurt me in the worst way. By lying to me, by turning it around on me, and pointing out that I was causing his pain. And that's probably the worst part. Oh, why I'm so mad at myself for the past couple weeks. That I was beating myself up mentally and trying to just be understanding and just all of that. Like, so then eventually we had to take some space from each other because this argument was so hard on me and him. We had to take space. We had to give each other space. And after this conversation, I was just talking to my mom about it because my parents stayed long distance for 10 years. So I was just asking her advice about how do I even, like, how do I talk to a man about being honest about how he feels? And I talked to my father about this too. And they gave me advice and they told me, honestly, I think if you really want him to realize that you truly never meant to be a harmful person or someone that has malicious intent of damaging or doubting your partner, I think you need to speak to him that everything that you just told us was generally out of fear. Because what you and him have is precious to you. And you want to fight for it, right? And I was like, yes. And they told me, so then you have to tell him how this is just stemmed from fear and complete concern about the precious love that you both have. So then, sometime after we had a break of talking, I had to put a lot of time to myself to think about it. I think it took about like a week. Yeah, it took about like a week for us to talk. Because I was just really trying to gather my thoughts and how to really phrase these things. And we spoke about it in our personal server VC, which we have. And no, I don't record all of our conversations. I'm not that kind of girlfriend, and nor am I that kind of a partner. I'm not crazy. I'm not that paranoid. I believe partners should have their privacy of spending time together, okay? And these conversations are private. So no, I did not record this conversation, but we did have it in our personal server. And within my pre-written letter, this is what I wrote, which I'll be reading to you guys. So, the 28th, around at 2 in the morning. No, sorry. The night before, I wrote this letter because I really had to gather my thoughts. I said this to Takedo because I wanted Takedo just to listen before he was going to speak. I told him, let me speak first, and then you can speak after you hear it. I told this to him. I want us both to talk today because this is going to be a conversation of us sharing our feelings. Understand them, but also what we struggle in life, in us, in our relationship, maybe even friends. But please do not take this as a belittling you moment or blaming who is at fault or disagree to agree times. This is an important conversation that I find we need to do right now as we are both going further in together while also far from each other with our lives and how to keep us strong. I will start from the night you mentioned about the hangout you and Nyx wanted to do with a cooking session or a cooking hangout, which I was very clear that I'm not comfortable nor okay with it. Even when your parents are around or hers or relatives or whatever, even it's just yourselves, it is not okay. The reason why it's not okay is because a taken man shouldn't have made plans with another woman about fun things. Because this is not fair to me or to you. It's not fair to us sharing our first times and our trust towards each other. It hurts me to hear that you want to do such things because you say it's a friend thing, but to me it's not. The other reason of why it's not is because I fear about the possibilities about you with another woman. I am not labeling you as a cheater or a possible disloyal man, but I fear about the woman that you keep as friends and them taking advantage of you, such as hangouts and conversations or inside jokes between you both, and they do hurt me purposely to show me that I'm not the only woman who you look at, or I'm not the only woman in your heart and mind. Women can be messed up and evil in the head to hate
the girlfriend because they also want the man. They also crave for the attention and love and fun, but you shouldn't share that with them. I fear about the possibilities that you could change from these hangouts because they either filled your need to hang out, but also the possibility search for love locally instead of staying in a long distance relationship. Or you could fall out of love due to our differences, like the distance and mental thinking or no interest in each other. Or you could forget who we were to each other and you disappear, leaving me behind. I do hurt when I think about these things. I do overthink because I think about these things. I can't stop these thinkings due to the actions and interactions, along with the questions of you asking me if you could go hang out with them even though you already know I was uncomfortable in the beginning. I want you to understand that if our shoes were switched, such as if I did lose my weight, or if I did show myself more in person or on social media and been more outgoing, interacting with other men, you would feel the same way. You may tell me you don't feel that way now, but within time, you do hold on to some feelings of not feeling comfortable about what I do, what I post, or what I wear, which I acknowledge them and respect your feelings. Instead of me just promising I won't do it, I acknowledge and I stop. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what to hear from me because I want you to know I'm hurting from a lot of silent pain and indirect pain, even when you're not the one causing it, especially if it is the woman that do it. Like I mentioned before, sorry, looking back at this letter makes me cry again. I understand you want to make friends. I understand you crave to go out and have fun. But at the same time, you have to realize that you cannot just do it with your friends. You have to do it with me. I want to create constant memories and share first times and give us the moments to look forward to create more. I feel like you don't do that. It's not that you weren't there, but you talk to me as if it's just a duty rather than it's a fun thing and it's a memory moment with your person. Being a boyfriend is not just about duties. Being a boyfriend is about learning the capabilities of what you can do and can't do, but also self-reflect yourself within life and friendships and family. You taught me so much. I'm sorry. You taught me so much about how I'm capable to love and care, fight, hope, cherish, yearn, endure, before. I told you. I told you this was my last chance for love. It's not just that you were my only person for love, but it's more of my only chance to give love a welcoming to my life. You taught me how to look at love in many ways, even when it's silly. You didn't realize this, that you have influenced me the best way to change my life. You have always been the light and the hope I have to every day. Or sleeping through the night. Going through emotional times. You have always been there in my mind and my heart. I hope that I am the same to you. I know that I'm more your I am in the picture and I am in your heart and mind. I understand it takes time for just you to learn about this for yourself to feel the same as me. I know it takes time. But I'm not here to rush you, but I'm here to remind you that we have something to fight for, to look forward for, and to protect. Have me in your life. Open me to your life. Let me in to see, to feel, to cry, to hug, to everything you're going through. And at the same time, be greedy with me. Beg me to spoil you or beg me to love you more. All the above, like you want a piece of your favorite candy or snack. That's an example. Or like your love for food and you never feel full and you still want more. Do that with me. Feel that same kind of wanting more from me. Show me you want to do more, or show me that you are capable to throw yourself at me and tell me you're going crazy in love, or you feel giddy about how silly it is to fall in love with a woman like me. It's okay to share these moments with me, and I'm not like your past or hurt, or I'm not like your past or here to hurt you. I'm actually here to cherish you and adore you in every way. You told me that when I interact with friends or when I speak about you, it sounds like I hurt you, bully you, or belittle you. I never say things in that kind of meaning. I say those things because it's to defend for you, explain for you, look out for you, and to love you with me, pay attention to every detail about you. I do observe the way you behave. I do observe the way you speak. I do observe the way you react, and do I use it against you? Do I bully you to the extent of hurting you? I could never. I use it as a reminder to myself that this is just a man who wants to be understood or to not always be different, but relatable with friends, family, even with me. So I tried to help, which I thought I was helping you, but when you told me that my choices of words or my phrasing or tone in sentences and sound like it was meant to hurt you, I'm sorry it did that to you. I'm not apologizing because you told me it hurt you, but because I didn't explain myself to you why I said such words. And here I am to explain to you in a caring manner. I want you to be able to feel, to tell, and to even fight for us. For me and for you. I want you to tell me you do feel the same way. That I'm really not just the only one who thinks this way. I know it sounds so much to hear and to understand, but it's so important for us to talk like this because I'm so scared that one day I wake up and you do disappear, or someday you just tell me you don't love me and you never gave me a reason. Or the fear of me just being alone through all of this and not talking to you about how I feel. I know it hurts you to see me alone thinking this way about us and you and me, but I think this way because I care and I love this relationship as much as I do for you. I love when I'm with you. I love myself when I'm with you. I feel so loved. But please talk to me and tell me what's going on because I feel there is some things you just don't want to hurt me with, but I hurt because I love you. Let me hurt because it means I just have to be that person to protect you and listen to you like how you do to me. It shouldn't just be me telling you how I feel now. It should be you and I telling each other. Spend at least 5 to 30 minutes with me and talk. Even if it's just for the silliest thing that happened in your day, tell me. Even if it's something new or something I do not get, show me. Because it just lets me see your world as I let you see mine. God, sorry. This letter. I'm just like thinking back into it. And you both fucked this up. Nyx, you fucked this up. You did this to Takaido. Because you both are disgusting scumbags for hurting someone like me, for being like this, vulnerable to be like this, hurt. I have to keep going. I have to keep going because this is a very important street. And I know I'm fucking strong. I have to keep going. You know, I also gave the benefit of that to Nyx after this call that I had with Kaido. So that's why I really was putting myself on the line to hang out with her. I wanted to give her the chance. I started to hang out with her VCs or in open lobbies for her Dead by Daylight streams. Because every time he always told me that she was just a friend. So I said, if she's just a friend, let me put time to hang out with her. Let me see who this woman is. And at that time, like I said before, in the very beginning of the stream, she was very much needy for this specific mod that she had to always join. And it sounded like she was attracted to him, or it sounded like they had like a thing. So I was like, that's probably her boyfriend. So you know what? Maybe my answers are prayered. And Takaido could have just told me that she was a taken woman this whole time. But the thing is, it was still a doesn't lie to me. You know, it's fun. Next coming times, he would ask me if he could go play pool with her. And then at that I was like, am I gonna go through this again? Really? And this is where I was trying to be very clear with him. You would just bring one of your friends. So that way they could keep an eye on you both. I don't even know if it was truly cancelled. I don't know. And then, a couple days later, I asked Kaido if we were okay. And he would tell me that he's stepping outside, taking a breather. He's trying to have some time to think. He's trying to, step outside during late nights because he couldn't really sleep. Things like that. Because in a way, it felt like he was just obligated to still hang out with me because around here, me and him were hanging out still. We were still talking. We still wanted to play games together. And I was asking him, like, I get it. If you want me to just stop doing what we have to do, please let me know right now. Like, I was literally asking him right now in this. And he told me he was still gathering his thoughts. I broke down a lot during those times. And I was asking him, like, do you mean, like, it's not good for your mental, like, of me? Or of just you dealing with stuff? And then, so then I continued trying to, like, see the signs, I was trying to see the signs. I was trying to say, like, do you want me not to talk to you until TwitchCon then? I was like, do you want us to completely take a small break where you need to put time on yourself? Or do you, like, what kind of boundary do you want? And the thing is, I was really trying. I was trying to make him comfortable as possible. And when I was asking if we should continue our plan for TC, was that we were actually gonna have our own dates during TwitchCon. We were actually not gonna hang out too much with our friends. We were actually gonna have our own thing. That's why we had an Airbnb together, because we're dating and we want to have me and him time. And then we were talking about Valorant, obviously. And then that's when we continue having our conversation. And then on this day, on the 13th of October, he wanted to break out with me. We had a private call to where he had to start, and No, that's where this call is because it doesn't load call when you block someone. But so on October 13th is the first time when we mentioned about breaking up. And it broke me. But at the same time, I had to ask him, is this because of Nyx? And he said no. And I asked him, what is it? He said it wasn't about physical stuff. It was just that he was dealing with his own personal issues and he was not happy in the relationship. And I knew what he meant, so I was like, I understand that. But at the same time, is this really what you want? And he said, I want to break up with you because I love you. And I don't know what that even means, to be honest. Because you love someone, you don't break up with them. Unless you really had to sacrifice because of something truly was very, very needed to sacrifice for. But we're in an era where we don't really have to do that, right? We're in conditions where we don't have to do that. And during this phone call, I didn't record it, by the way. I asked him, do you truly want it to be like this? Where you're breaking out with me through a phone call 3 days before we go to TwitchCon? And he said he felt like shit. He felt so horrible for the fact that he wanted to break up with me. And he has been thinking about this since July. He's been having his feelings disappear since then. And then that's when I asked him. So then, during our anniversary on the 7th in July, and during my birthday on the 31st, did you even love me? Did you really still keep loving me, though? During those times, our precious, important times. Did you really love me? And he told me that he did. And I believed him. But it's like, I kind of had to have thoughts about it. So then, the next couple days before our flight to TwitchCon, I was speaking with friends and telling them I'm gonna fight for this relationship because I have solutions. I'm gonna give it to him, tell him this is how we're gonna fix it, and this is how we're gonna get it through, and this is how we're gonna try to get things to be steady and have me graduate grad school and as an international student in Canada, so that way we can fulfill the needs of being, physically close to each other. Things like that. I was having all these plans. So within the next span of 2 days, I found so much. I called so many, and so many accepted me. I just had to be able to meet the requirement of going on a visa, obviously, and having the money for it. So I wanted to work a lot after TwitchCon. I was thinking about doing 2 to 3 jobs actually. Try to save up. Even if it wears me out, all those things. And then I was also trying to think about if I could find a roommate to live with. Things like that. And then on day 0, like D-Day of TwitchCon, we broke up. Because I had to ask him if he was really serious, and he told me he was serious. His mind didn't change from his decision, and his reasons are still the same, where he was unhappy, he doesn't love me anymore, and that he's struggling with a lot in his life, and he feels out of place, and he wants to be less online, like meaning as in he just doesn't want to be on the computer all the time. That's what he told me. So then I agreed. So throughout the whole week of TwitchCon, I had to hold it in, and he did too, of us both. Crying back and forth when he's inside the house, I'm outside the house. We're both crying separately. We're not trying to cry in front of each other. I had several panic attacks physically, and Dakaido has witnessed all of them. And I cried in the showers every time I had a shower. And any time I had to step outside, I would break down and cry. And honestly, seeing one of my good friends, I was so happy and I hugged her because honestly, I just needed that one good hug. And hugging her made me so okay. And just talking to her, it just made me feel better because I honestly couldn't talk to anyone, to be honest. I just couldn't. Because I couldn't trust anyone with this information. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I just needed a hug, and that friend gave it to me. And I'm glad I got it. And to be honest, I'm glad I met my friends during TwitchCon. I'm thankful to meet all of you. I'm glad I had good memories. I'm glad I drank the last night of my TwitchCon. Thank God. I would drink for years. But afterwards, you know, what's so fucked is that fucking sucks, guys, because the sources told me that they were both physically cheating. Cheated on me physically. And this woman knew I was still with him. And she allowed him to touch her in her own fucking car. And you know, he touched her from the breast to the downstairs hole. And you know what's even fucked? This man wanted to question if his actions were even evidence of cheating because he was given consent. And they were actually having sex. That's when I lost my shit the past month. That hurt me the most, you know. How could you be that stupid? You are so stupid. You're such a piece of shit. You're a scumbag and you're disgusting. Fucking question that you're not in the wrong touching another woman. And yeah, I asked you several fucking times. Tell me. During one of their hangouts, they were doing it. Tell me. It was so fucked because all your reasons are you breaking up with me tell me that wasn't physical and our relationship was worth it and everything of that. You know what? It wasn't worth for me to love you anymore. Now that I know. You know you know what was worth it? I loved a man. Okay? Not you. But I loved a man. I'm not gonna give you any worth at all. And I'm not gonna make you think that I will love someone as low and disgusting with his own hands, his own mouth, and his own dick, acting like some dog that sees some kind of hot thing around. I'm not gonna give that. I'm not gonna find that worth to love. So honestly, at the very end of the day, you're not a man. You're just a fucking boy. You think with your pants instead of your fucking head. You think with your pants instead of your fucking heart as well. And you know what? Thank fucking God I jumped into therapy. Thank fucking God I actually told myself I needed to fucking check myself in. Because I really needed it. And you know what? I now know why I don't love you. I actually love the experience that I had. Now I know. I love the fact that I had the experience to be like that. Not with you, but with some man that was at the time a man, willing to correct himself, willing to try to be trying, actually, able to listen, able to try to earn my trust, earn my love and everything, and me trying to fix myself too, to be capable of loving you back. I realized that's why I loved it. That's why I said it was worth it. Because it was the fucking experience and the lessons I fucking learned. And you know what, Nyx? I'm gonna say this to you. Fuck you. You fucking knew I was his girlfriend. You knew since Studio Ghibli, and probably he even told you who I was because you could tell he was dating me because he had me as his banner, and you know damn well of my interactions with him and his chat and everything, all publicly. Fuck you. Completely. Just fuck you. That's how I'm gonna say it. And you know what's even fucked is that when I came to one of your streams and I jokingly told you if I ever visit Canada, I'll hold your hand in front of the boys, in front of Dekaido even, and you dared to ask Dekaido if it was permission, that made you already aware that you were literally sabotaging. You were literally sabotaging our relationship. And you know, I'm gonna say this. You're 32 fucking years old. And you go after a 22-year-old? You're a grown, better woman. And you known enough, you lived long enough to know you don't do this shit. You don't fuck people's life because of your own selfish needs. You're an adult woman as much as I am. I'm 25. And yeah, I'm telling you, a 32-year-old to get a fucking grip and grow the fuck up. And you know, you dare to be like a woman that says, oh, I empower women. I love women. Women are good. I support women and all that. Shut the fuck up. You're the complete fucking opposite. And I can't believe it. You wanted to say that I lied on your own stream up on my own fucking post about you both publicly doing that shit. Saying that I'm a liar, trying to tell your community that I was just trying to sabotage whatever the both of you have. And I know that you both are exclusive. I know you both are dating. I know you guys have been fucking with each other. Because the sources confirmed it with me. I did not need just that we're the one meet screenshot. Sources told me. And you know what? Your traumas don't excuse your shit. I had traumas too, but it doesn't excuse the way how I treated Dekaido. I still made up for Dekaido. I still apologized to Dekaido because I knew he didn't deserve to be treated like shit. He didn't deserve to be treated like a piece of trash. So I tried to be a good person to him, to myself, and made me realize that I could actually make a guy feel good about himself. I tried to be that way. But the thing with you, I could tell you're taking advantage of men out there because you just want yourself to be fed with the benefit of whatever, the money, the love, the affection, the attention, all those things for yourself. But I know damn it, you don't give shit to the men other than just, you know, pleasuring them. And you know, I'm gonna say this to you, girl. Stop it. That's not the way how you grab love. That's not the way how you should get a man to even love you for. You want a man to love you?
then fucking look at yourself in the mirror and realize what the fuck is wrong with you, and then do a fucking to-do list and fucking fix those things like how I did to myself. It took me 4 fucking years to finally gather my own shit together, to clean up my own shit. Even I knew I fucked up a lot of things in my life, and I'm still 25. You're 32. You know, I'm gonna say that you're addicted to hurting people, especially blindsiding them. And I know some people went on my post saying that, oh, I publicly already made an announcement, which is right here. Right? Yeah, I made a public announcement because me and Dekaido at the time during TwitchCon, we agreed to be friends. We broke up mutually because I thought his reasons was actually the truth. That's why I felt like it was a need to tell our friends at the time to not mistakenly that me and him are still together even after we hid it from TwitchCon, that we were still together. I wanted to be able to be public and announce it, not to just calm my measures of like worry, but to also calm him down, because I know this man's gonna be sick and tired of explaining to people privately. So I made a public post, and this man didn't make one of his own. Because I know damn well he doesn't want to tell his community that he was dating. I know damn well this man wanted to look like he was single. Because he always tells me, I'll tell people if they ask me if I'm dating you. I'll tell people that they should know that they're talking to a taken man. I'll let them know. Unbelievable. And honestly, I really thought after I made that post, asking his permission if it was okay for me, he later on decided to tell me some things a couple weeks after Halloween, or like the week after Halloween, right? And let me tell you guys this. So before Halloween, the weekend after, so after TwitchCon, so the following week, right? I confronted Dekaido because I found out that he was hanging out with Nyx right after, a week after we broke up. Which I did suspect that is weird. And then I found out that he was actually with a group of friends of theirs. So I called Dekaido on WhatsApp, which is what we had our personal phone numbers through that. And I had him swear on his family. I had to make him swear if he was breaking up with me with the honest truth. His reasons with me were very real. It's actually not because he was trying to get himself to get into Nyx's pants. All those things. And he said they were all true. He swore it all. It was all true. And during that same phone call, he told me he didn't like the fact that I was making him swear. He told me that he didn't like the fact that I was sorry, my mother came in my room, but I was ranting to him, and I was just venting to him, which he felt bad with saying that's what it was. But I told him, it's not my fault that I'm like this, nor is it your fault. It's the fucking love that we have that was so fucking deep and strong. It's the fault of that, to be honest. And then he told me too, me mentioning Nyx's name was irritating the hell out of him. And that's when I kind of got a little small hint he was defending for her. And this is my recollection of the phone call, by the way. It wasn't recorded. This is all recollection of the phone call because I remember it very clearly as day. And he told me the reason why he hanged out with Nyx that coming weekend was because she invited him, and he swore that he didn't know anybody else there other than Nyx. It was just someone's birthday. And that the reason why he's trying to go out now is so that he can cope with the way how he broke up with me, because he's hurting too. And when he's dealing with the breakup, it's also different from the way how I'm healing. So it's kind of like me calling him and asking him to be like honest with me and clean with me even a week after we broke up, it won't fix anything. And I was telling him, well, it will fix if you were telling me the truth. And he said he was. That's why he swore. And he hated the fact that I kept on mentioning, oh, I trusted my gut. I trusted my gut and I knew that there was something going on between you two. And he said, I kind of hate the fact that you guys keep saying these things. Like, you women keep saying these things. And I'm like, well, we trust our gut, motherfucker. So I even told him there's another reason why I called him. That I was angry that he didn't talk to the people that were concerned about him actually after the breakup. Not the people that were at TwitchCon, but like the people that found out about the breakup. Personally, from me and him, like that we texted, that we only allow only very few people to know closely to us. Some of these people asked me if I was okay, and they asked me how is he, and I told them I don't talk to him like that. We had to give each other space, and they always tell me, "Well, he's not reaching out to me. I hope he's okay," and that concerned me. So of course, I fucking called him. I had to let him know. There's people out there that actually care about you, Takaido. There's people that don't just party around, drink around, and do stupid shit just to keep you distracted so you could quote unquote cope. There's people that actually want to be able to hear how you've been feeling. That's honestly how I was saying it to him on the phone. And I even told him, you're lucky that these people care about you because some of these people did check in on me, but they cared about you the most because most of these people are your people. So you have to talk to them. And he would tell me, well, if I wanted to talk to them, I'll feel like I'll talk to them, but I don't have to talk to them. That's what he told me. And he even told me some of them are like pissing me off, so I don't even want to talk to them because not everybody needs to know what I'm dealing with. Okay, they don't have to know every detail, but you have to tell them, yeah, I feel like a piece of shit. That's what I say to my friends when I was going through the breakup. Sometimes I even tell my friends, hey, don't feel like a pity party, but just know that I'm feeling like a literal drag of sadness. Like, I literally just be honest like that to my friends. Like, very, very brief explanation how I've been coping with the relationship and the breakup. And I was concerned for him myself because I kind of realized since we decided to become friends, and I kind of think back to now realizing, okay, now that we're friends, I can't do too much. He's not my responsibility, but at the same time, he's my friend. I was very fed up with the fact that Kaido wants to distract himself with fun and partying and knowing how he would be like coping with that. He just would feel empty because I used to be that way. I know everybody else used to be that way too. It doesn't really actually fill the void. Actually makes you become a very, very different person. And because he kept telling me that, yeah, well, the breakup's fucking me up too. And I'm not mentally fine with after the breakup, like I'm also dealing with it too. It's not just you, it's also causing me pain. I'm like, then why are you home crying about it? Or why aren't you home talking to your friends about it, especially the ones that care? And why are you out here having fun, partying, and forgetting? And, you know, I was scared that if he actually went to that route, I was scared of losing him to probably the worst parts that can happen, to very, very dark, bad things. That's why I wanted to call him, because I want him to be in the right hands of people. I wanted him to be with people that will actually protect him now that he's not my responsibility. I want him to be able to have people that he can trust in his life. I want him to be around people that can actually, protect him when he needs it, or that he can have people behind his back and, speak up for him and he can speak up for them. Like, all those things. I want him to have those things now that we're not together.
And I get it. You're used to doing things alone, Dekaido, but guess what? It's good to have people to be on your back, to back you up, especially ones that are really good friends. Because during TwitchCon week, I God, I don't want to remember this feeling, but I kind of have to because it kind of like explains why I had to call him too. Because during TwitchCon week, this man had a bad dream and he was shaking in his bed. Okay, and not his bed, but like we shared the bed, but he was shaking in his sleep. And honestly, I was scared to death. I had a fucking heartbreaking like panic of like, are you okay? Are you fine? Because I honestly thought I was gonna lose the man that I love after we just broke up. I thought that I was actually gonna lose him to death because it kind of opened a kind of trauma response to the way how I did with my mom because she had like a sleep scare where she was like kind of having like a seizure in her bed, and I honestly thought that I lost my mom. It was like a hospitalization like issue, and she had to go to the hospital for it, and I thought I was gonna lose my mom. So then I thought I was gonna lose Takeo. And then at the same time, because my mom's incident was a couple years ago, and then last year I found out my dad had colon cancer. And then luckily he's okay now because he had surgery. But I thought I was gonna lose my mom, my dad, and the Kaido. I thought I was gonna lose the people I have very close to me. Honestly, I felt like I was gonna die because of heartbreak syndrome. And honestly, it's fucking scary, you guys. I know everybody can say like, "Oh, you were just overreacting. You're overthinking about shit. Oh, you're just overly traumatized and so on." But guys, losing someone or almost losing someone to a very possible death encounter is fucking terrifying. Okay. It's not even cheating that's terrifying to me. For me, it's death. I don't give a damn if Takaido cheated on me. All I gave a damn was the fact that during that time, if death was gonna take the man that I love, I could never be able to live with that. Because even as a friend, I was so scared about what he could be doing to himself to cope with this breakup or anything before I found out that he was actually living his lavish life with Nyx. I was scared that he could probably go to the deep end of depression and things like that, where it could be very fucked. Life risking things like I got scared. I didn't want to lose him. To make the phone call to make sure he was okay. I didn't want to tell him that though, because I didn't want to. I didn't want him to feel like he had to worry about his own ex-girlfriend was still in love with him, and he has to be furthering himself away from my own eyes and my own observations. You know, I didn't want him to know that that's how much I still cared about him. So I didn't even tell him that part of why I was so scared or concerned about his life upon these people. And I just told him, and the remaining couple minutes or like 15 minutes, I told Kairo, although that he told me the truth, if I find out in the next 2 to 3 months that it was a lie, that means he lied on his own family and me. Because this phone call was the last chance for him to be truthful,
and that I would be fully giving him no contact, give him hella space where we don't talk, especially when it comes to about me dealing with the breakup, right? It's just that we don't talk about the breakup. And I'll contact him if only needed. And that's when we agreed. And then a week later, around Halloween night, I messaged all of our friends, including Nyx and Takedo, to be safe outside and to enjoy the holiday. Then I did try to drunk call him. I was drunk on the night that I was on Halloween. I was drunk. He didn't pick up, so that was fine. But I did leave a few voice notes where I do recall that I told him to be safe, and if he's fucking someone, wear a condom. I was trying to be silly as a drunk person. I'm drunk, but I remember things. Like, my memory is still clear as day. And while I was also going through my therapy, I kind of told myself I need to go into some observation or behavioral therapy because I wanted to be able to motivate myself physically and also to physically observe myself in a good, positive way. So during that was when I slowly started to let Takaido go. And no, I did not depend on drugs or alcohol or partying as my coping mechanism for breakups. Like, that's why I had to jump into therapy, because I told myself I'm not going to be doing that to myself. I'm not going to try to be stupid because, when you go a depressive mode, yeah, you have dark thoughts, but I told myself I'm not going to succumb to those thoughts. Um, so I did seek help. And then a week later, Dekaido and we messaged each other about making our public posts about our breakup, because I felt like during the time when I was streaming of the same day that I made the post of November 2nd, I believe, or 1st, I believe it was one or the other, but I was feeling bad that a lot of our friends did not know. So that's why I made the public post. But during this conversation, Dekaido later decided to frame me as a stalker. And this is where I asked him, is it okay if we announce our relationship is officially done? I feel like we may need to clarify for some of our friends, but I want to make sure you're okay with it, because Latte, Yasu, Kaibo, and Hayden still assume we're still dating, because at the time they were visiting my chat. Unless you want me to do it privately, I can do so. I just don't want you to feel uncomfortable. But again, I want you to decide on how to handle this too. I don't want to do it without letting you know. So whatever feels comfortable for you, let me know. I'm sorry that this makes you feel nauseous for talking to me again. And remember, I really did try to not want to talk to him even after the night that I called him drunk. Okay? Because if he didn't want to respond to me when I was drunk, then that tells me he's completely trying to ignore me. Okay? So that's my acknowledgement when I was drunk. He was like, I think we should do a public announcement, but the breakup, the part that's making it uncomfortable is you constantly bothering my friends about my whereabouts, and I don't feel like I have the space I asked for. And this is the one thing that I'm actually pissed off with, Takaido. You dare to say I was bothering your friends? Which friends, though? Because I have not asked any single of your fucking friends. The only friends that I knew that you were hanging out is only fucking Nyx. So honestly, I think you telling me that I'm bothering Nyx, you could have just fucking said that. Because I have not said anything to any of our friends of, oh, where's Takaido? What does Takaido do? Because guess what? When I ask our friends how was their weekend, or what are their plans for the weekend, or was their plan for the holiday, if they name drop you, that's not my fault. I'm only asking about what their activity is or what their plans are. And the thing is to this too, I have Chatterino. It gives me I make a list of who's online because I don't frequently keep Twitch notifications on my phone. I don't join everybody's fucking server to get notifications of their lives. So I have Chatterino because I know I'm usually on the computer. I'm not looking at Discord to know about the notifications because I'm on Do Not Disturb.
Okay? So that's why I have Chatterino. And when I know that you're in the chat, I really do try to give you whatever you need to do to talk to friends. And the thing is, I was just super pissed off at Takedo about this because I was like, how dare you? But because I went through therapy for quite a while, I was kind of checked out from him. But this is like literally me giving a whole of like, dude, where have I asked where you go, what you do? It is still your business. Like literally. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry that I'm just asking how our friends are doing with their day. I'm sorry I'm asking what their plannings were. And if it includes you, I'm sorry. So then that's when I just stopped talking in our mutual chats. That's why I kind of started to slowly not approach as much because Takaya was telling me that he felt uncomfortable. And by this point of him telling me that I was making him uncomfortable, I was like, I'm gonna leave you alone then, completely alone. I'm gonna completely leave you alone. I wish you the best. Good luck on your career. And whatever the ties that me and Dakaido had at this time was that he just had to pay me back for TwitchCon, which later I told him he doesn't have to anymore. But the only other thing was that I had my childhood blankie, which I forgot during TwitchCon because I was already on my flight going home. I didn't realize I forgot it. So I told Takaido he needs to ship out as soon as he gets home. And he kept my blanket with him for about 2 to 4 months until January. I called him to remind him he has something that I need. And that's the only times that I would reach out to Takaido, is to remind him, please send me my blanket. I need it. It's my childhood fucking token. I don't know whatever the fuck you're doing with it. I don't know whatever you're trying to do. I don't give a damn. I just want it back. And if you can't give it back, just give it to one of our friends that lives around and they can give it to me. They can literally ship it to me because you seem to be so busy. You seem to have your head up your ass to streaming Valorant every fucking night, and you can spend 5 minutes to drive to the fucking shipping place to ship my blanket on a weekend because you're probably too busy fucking Nyx. Bro, seriously, it's not that fucking hard. And the thing is, what's funny is like after I told him like, you know what, I'm gonna leave you alone. Do you want me to leave your server? Do you want me to leave our friend's server so that way you can completely keep our friends to yourself because I can keep the DMs with our friends so that way you don't have to see me around anyone. You know, like I took the drastic part. I took it drastically because I was like, if you feel uncomfortable with me, I can definitely leave. I don't have to be in the space at all. And like I said, you deserve to have comfortability. Go ahead, still have fun with the friends. You don't want me around, I'll leave. And you know what? Like this is how much I checked out. And this is why I said goodbye. And this is why I had to ask him, do you want to leave your server too? And yeah. So then this is why when people are just saying, "Oh, you already posted you guys were on good terms. Why didn't you, why are you trying to say like you guys aren't good terms?" Bitch, we were. Until he accused me as a stalker. And then later on I found out that he cheated on me. Emotionally and physically. And he lied. When he could have been honest, like, yeah, I have interest in Nyx.
I could have congratulated the both of them, to be honest. I'm gonna be as honest as that. That's how a genuine good person I am. Even though I should be mad, I would have been understanding, be like, okay, congratulations. You guys do realize that's how much of a forgiving person I am. And thank the Lord my blanket did arrive. I have it with me right now, by the way, chat, so you guys can be all happy. You guys can celebrate that I have it. I have my blanket with me. So I'm okay now. I have my blanket. I'm fully fine. Mm. Still going through therapy. Not because of this, but because I wanted to still be good on myself. And because I'm going to the gym oftenly, I've been physically good. I've been physically just keeping my psychological self together and everything. So this is why, like I said in the very bottom here, I truly did heal mentally and physically. My emotional side, I'm just not going to be silent about it anymore. And you know what? I'm going to say this is that, like I said, from this relationship, I truly did learn that I can love someone deeply, but they have to be very deserving of it. And I mean, as in, they gotta write a whole fucking 1,000-page essay or whatever. Show me actual proof that you're actually that in love with me and all that, and that my love deserves to be precious, be precious to you and such. But you know, that's just little dreamy talk. But someone out there would do it someday. That's why I still have hope for love out there. Because whatever this relationship taught me is that I know that I can still love someone in the same way, but more gradually, more deeper, and more meaningful. And I will still be clear about this. I will not be flirting with VTubers. I will not be flirting with other content creators until they actually have an actual, like, proof to me that they can be an honest person about relationships, publicly and privately, and to respect me and the relationship that I have with them. But honestly, with VTubers, hell fucking no. I'm not gonna date any of y'all. You guys will not get a chance. Zero. De nada. But you know, I'm gonna say this. Own up to your shit, Dekaido and Nyx. Because now knowing that you both are exclusive to each other, look at each other's phones, start gathering your shit together, forgive each other even or whatever. I don't know whether the hell you guys are gonna try to fix whatever you guys have between you both. I don't know if you guys are gonna celebrate Valentine's, to be honest. I just realized it's Valentine's. But you know what? Look at each other's phones, see if you guys can even trust each other. Because who knows if you guys are cheating on each other, you know? But yeah, I'm gonna say this to you, Dakaido. It's very downgrading of you to move on for a woman that's already taken by two other men at the time, and her lying to you about her personal life, and you're just like a pawn in her little game of collecting men. And you know what, Nyx? This is not a game. This is about people's lives. It's not fun to fuck around with people's lives. And if you really, really want to have a man to love you, girl, fix whatever's wrong with you. And you know, the same applies to you too, Takeda. If you want a girl to love you, fix yourself. And you know what? I'm gonna have a guest to come into the stream. And it's gonna be partner one because I believe partner one deserves to share his story and his perspective. As I ask his permission if he is alright to share his story and the relationship he had with Nyx. Because what I went with Takaido, it was deep and it was blind. But with this partner, what they went through is probably even more fresher and more hurtful and more painful and more unforgiving. And this does not excuse any of the things that Nyx has excused of herself of she went through traumatic things and she had experience in the past. It doesn't excuse anything at all. So I would be passing on the stream onto partner one's perspective and explanation of the side of him. So, with that, I will be giving that to him. Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
sorry, I was trying to get my mixer to work.
It's okay. I'm streaming the slideshow for you so that way you can see. And then you can just
Okay,
tell me to
appreciate.
click. I will be silent. Those in chat and stream, I will be silent. And partner one will be taking lead. I will be just clicking for the slideshow. And here you go.
All right.
Drink, bitch.
I am providing this statement to accurately document my personal experience within a past relationship and to contextualize my understanding, consent, and emotional investment throughout its duration. You can change the slide. Okay. So on July 18, I was invited to a Canadian group through them. This invitation felt significant and intentional as it represented an overlap between our personal connection and our creator communities. Prior to this, we had both been accepted into the Creator Club for VTubers earlier in the year and had engaged in surface level interactions through Twitter and each other's Twitch chats, like in passing. So, this invitation marked a clear shift from casual familiarity to more intentional inclusion. Okay. On August 3rd, um, we we met in person for the first time while attending the auto concert. I attended it independently from the group, though I met up with them after the concert. Later that evening, she fed me in front of several group members. Given that this was our first in-person meeting, I perceived this act as intimate rather than platonic, and at least one person present also interpreted it as suggestive of mutual romantic interest. Additionally, she was adamant about driving me home rather than allowing another individual to do so, which further reinforced my interpretation of her intentions that night. I want to flag that what I'm about to say is just commentary. So yeah, in the slides, she's asking when and why my interest started, and I mentioned that it was during that night and how like I said, she was adamant about driving me home instead of another individual as they were going back and forth about it. This was also an individual. She had physically fixed his hair at the dinner, even saying how like she liked his hair that way. So like these two instances led me to think maybe they had something between them and why the feeding act was confusing and why I said, the feeding thing can appear a certain way, especially when first meeting. Um yeah, so here as as Yumi mentioned, um There was the Studio Ghibli Festival on August 16th. We separately attended the festival with our own groups. Despite this, we both expressed a clear desire to spend more time together during the event, continuing a pattern of mutual interest and emotional closeness. This was later acknowledged mutually in our messages, as you can see. And then moving on to the Miko concert plans. So early August, we both expressed interest in the artist Miko and his Montreal concert. This led to plans to attend together, with her inviting two additional people, one of them being Takedo. The concert weekend took place September 5th through the 7th. During this trip, there were moments that suggested close familiarity between her and Takedo, which I noticed but initially interpreted as platonic friendship. At the time, I did not challenge these observations and chose to give the benefit of the doubt. Again, what I'm about to say is just um, it's not part of my formal statement, but yeah, there was like moments on the way back. We stopped like at an apple farm, and Kaido did get a phone call from his parents, and they also wanted to speak with Nyx. And there was also a time during our trip where he mentioned bringing something when meeting Auntie again, which I assume he was referring to Nyx's mom or relative. With these two instances, I chalked it up to maybe that they've just been good friends for X amount of time. I don't know how much time they've known each other prior to, and so I didn't think much of it during that weekend. Another memory I remember I remember her getting tipsy from drinking during that weekend, and she said, "I think Takaido is mad at me." Again, at the time, I just thought, "Oh, close friends. He's just looking out. He's just being a good little bro, you know." But in hindsight, why would she be worried if he cared that much if she drank or not, if he got mad? But again, just chalked it up to, they're just good, close platonic friends who know each other for a while. Moving on, later in September, I sent her a direct message, clearly expressing my romantic interest, my desire to get to know her more deeply, and my hope that this could lead to something mutual. Approximately a month and a half later, on November 5th, I reinforced these intentions by giving her a handmade card during an in person date. The card included a drawing and a handwritten note explicitly stating my feelings. During this conversation, she shared concerns about her past trauma and expressed a desire to keep things low key and without a formal label. I acknowledged and respected these boundaries and chose to continue pursuing the relationship in good faith, believing we were working towards something mutual. Um, Again, just some commentary. Um, I'd like to note that this DM was sent the day after we spent the whole day together. At one point, I was going to inform her of something, to which she told me I didn't have to, and she proceeded to say, "I thought, I thought you were gonna say you had a girlfriend," and she also even stated that she was ready to punch me. So why would you say that to me if, like, in the background you're having all these dealings with the Kaido? I don't know. In the slide, you can see that we did go out on November 1st, which is when I was originally planning to give her the card. I was unable to. Oh, sorry, this is slide 2 or the next part. Yeah. Uh, you can see we tried to go, or we did go on the 1st of November, and I was originally going to give her the card, but I wasn't able to, and so we went out for a late night hot pot on the 5th, and we were out until like 5 a.m. Upon dropping her home, I gave her my card. This was when she mentioned her traumas, and she didn't want to lose what we had. She was scared if we got together and then we broke up that I'd leave and abandon her and never talk to her again. That was like the stuff that she was saying to me. You can go to the next slide. Um, so from October through Christmas, we consistently exchanged and accepted gifts. These gestures were mutual and ongoing and included personal, thoughtful items, as well as commissioned artwork and digital assets used publicly within our creator spaces. At one point, we also displayed matching Discord profile banners, which were visible to others and noted by members of the community. Collectively, these actions reinforced my understanding that we were engaged in an intentionally romantic connection, even if it was kept low key. Again, just some more commentary. The first gift, not shown in the slides, was some baked goods she got from my parents when they first met, as well as a cake from Uncle Tetsu's for my birthday back in September. I would follow up with an art commission referencing our time together in Montreal during the Miko concert weekend, to which she posted in her Discord server and made it her Discord profile banner. I would follow to do the same, as I believed it was okay since she did it first, despite being low key. For maybe a month and a half, we had matching banners, which was publicly visible, and some people pointed out to me that they noticed. As an early Christmas gift, I bought her the Miss Bloom 2.0 Gunskin bundle in Valorant because I knew she liked the 1.0 bundle, uh, and I wanted to help complete her collection. She at first was panicking and she didn't want to accept, um, and I just chalked it up to maybe it was so sudden it felt like a big purchase. You know, she felt she had to pay me back too, which I said I understand if she rejects it, but she isn't obligated to pay me back either, as the gesture was giving her a gift. Throughout my time looking back at all these DMs and stuff, I put it in hindsight that, maybe she was anticipating Takedo to buy her the bundle. Maybe that's why she felt so guilty and panicky at first. But then again, I don't know. You can switch the slides. I even made her an art piece of us together for Christmas while looking forward to the new year together. Uh, she had also bought me JJK art and a Pokemon keychain during one of our dates to an alley shop, artist alley shop, as well as commissioning an emote and a PNG for me to use on stream and or Discord reactive Fujitech. Next slide. Yeah, during the same period, we regularly spent time together through virtual hangouts, in-person dates, and private conversations that included flirtatious and intimate exchanges. We planned activities together such as meals, late night outings, shared online watch sessions, and at-home date ideas. This consistent pattern of interaction reasonably shaped my expectations regarding exclusivity and emotional commitment. But yeah, as you can see in the slides, you can see the span of time we were seeing each other physically from September up until November. At one point between late November and early December, we had planned to build gingerbread houses together and watch anime. This specific plan had altered a number of times from IRL to over Discord, through like webcam and whatever, to maybe I just do it for my own charity stream back to IRL sometime in January. And I was looking forward to January because she mentioned that she was going to be super busy in December, right? So I was like, well, maybe we just do it in January. um, yeah. So I just want to say before we go to the next slide, it does get very suggestive, and yes, while I am providing this, it was emotionally disturbing to have to go through all again, now knowing what was happening behind the scenes between her and Takedo. So over time, our relationship became physically intimate. These encounters occurred privately and consensually, and further reinforced my belief that we had entered an intimate and exclusive space. One such instance occurred during a special stream event in mid October where we spent time together privately during a break. This experience, along with subsequent interactions, solidified my understanding of the seriousness of our connection. Um, yeah, again, just to quickly glaze over, basically our time together, we were quite physical in a way that a couple would be. In addition to this event, we were increasingly physically intimate on multiple dates between mid September and up to mid November. You can just change the slides. So, if you guys remember, Yume did mention there was um, a weekend before Halloween where she called Takedo, um, and it was that night that Takedo claimed that he didn't know anyone at this hangout. But did they not hang out at CNE back in September? This is already almost end of October. So around karaoke night and increasingly leading into Halloween, I began experiencing suspicions that something else might be occurring. These concerns, combined with other observations, led to heightened anxiety and repeated attempts on my part to seek clarity through open and direct communication. On the right, I was asking Nyx if they had any intent inviting me to her pool night with the Kaido on Halloween, prior to her opening it up for the rest of the Canadian group Discord. This was because deep down inside, I felt very suspicious about her buying ghost face masks for the two of them to wear out together during this night. I was trying to understand, but was met with a level of defensiveness, inquiring if it was a problem. I was trying to diffuse, which is why I said it wasn't. Within that exchange, in the beginning, it appears like she wanted to invite me prior to making it open, but then contradicts herself by saying before it was open, she wasn't going to. You can change the slides. So I asked explicitly whether there was, quote unquote, something else going on that I should understand, emphasizing that I was seeking honesty rather than confrontation. In response, my concerns were framed as her simply wanting to do her own thing or spend time with others, without acknowledgement of additional romantic or intimate connections. These explanations were given primarily between the first and second weeks of December. In hindsight, I I believe, you know, these responses were incomplete or misleading. I feel that this would have been an appropriate opportunity for transparency, which may have spared me a prolonged confusion and emotional distress throughout December. I'm laughing because I checked my this might be stupid, but I checked my weight like last week or 2 weeks ago. I lost 15 pounds since December. That's insane to me because when I say heightened anxiety throughout the month of December, I'm not exaggerating. I was like so anxious because like I was just on the back burner. You know, she could have said something when I asked if there was something I should understand, but she chose not to. You can change the slides. I also developed suspicions regarding the presence of an additional partner beyond Dekaido. These concerns were not clearly addressed at the time, but in December, another individual stayed at her residence for approximately a week, which further intensified my confusion and emotional distress. So yeah, just showing here when the alleged partner was staying for a week and when plans were made for the whole Canadian group to hang out and meet said person at one of these hangouts. Can you imagine this? Myself and Dekaido were also present to meet this guy. I don't know. But yeah, in the next slide, you can see my responses to her are the least ecstatic, especially when she refers the dynamic between her and the alleged third partner. This is the mod you may mentioned earlier, who whenever they're in a call, they were in a call together when she was trying to hang out with Nyx to like in voice call to see how things were and how it was pointed out that like their dynamic is very much like her calling this mod over like a dog. Anywho, you can switch this. You can switch the slides. So later, I question why this all. Well, you may started off saying, yeah, this was the catalyst of why me and Nyx broke up. So yeah, I questioned why she held a partnership label with Takedo within a game environment. This game being where winds meet. This discovery heightened my anxiety. As you can see, this was beginning of January. So like yeah, as it aligned with earlier concerns I had raised regarding overlapping relationships and with him specifically, this prompted a more direct and serious conversation. This discussion ultimately led to the end of our relationship on January 6th. So, just some commentary here. Her reasons were more or less she was unhappy I can't socially perform in group chats that she'd invite me into. Group chats being like voice calls, whenever we're playing games off stream. Even though she is aware I prefer one on one communication to get to know new people, and it takes me a while to warm up to groups. She did not communicate that when I appear on her stream in VC, that I was supposed to treat it like a pseudo collab and be on as if I was streaming myself. If I knew that, then I'd make more effort to. Her reasoning was since I'd been streaming longer, she felt like she didn't have to communicate that to me. Basically, that she was looking for me to banter slash socially perform wherever she invited me. Like I said, she knew I prefer one on one to get to know people. So you can't just throw me in a group and expect me to be socially on all the time, especially if it's off stream. Could have communicated that to me, but you didn't. She also brought up when I was on stream with Kaido and a new person I met through him and questioned why I was able to banter with said new person. In this context, at the time, I was already comfortable with Takedo, and so I was just meeting one other person. In addition to me already being live on my own stream, I'm gonna be more inclined to be quote unquote on. So I'm already in a scenario where I'm gonna be quote unquote socially on because I'm streaming. And like I said, it was one other person besides Takedo. But yeah, based on the information available to me at each stage of what we had, my understanding was, um, of the relationship and my consent to its emotional and physical dimensions was formed in good faith. The later realization that there may have been concurrent partners fundamentally altered how I understood my experience. This statement is not intended to assign intent or malign character. It exists solely to affirm that my interpretation, emotional responses, and boundaries were reasonable given the context and information I was provided with at the time. My experience is valid, and my actions following the end of the relationship were rooted in self protection, emotional processing, and a need for honesty. The reason I come forward with all of this in the first place, this experience, is because I want to hear from them that what they did was being unfaithful. I just want to say there's nothing wrong with having multiple partners, as you may have said. Nothing wrong with poly. I think it's morally responsible, though, that all participating partners are aware of each other. This comes down to health concerns. Had I known that this was the case with the relationship, I would have not continued participating in it. All I'm, I'm not asking anyone to come after them. I just want to express all I've observed and experienced during my time with them over the last third of 2025. If I remember correctly, what even before my message on mid December, asking if there's something I need to understand, she could have said something during November 5th when I made my intentions, when I reinforced my intentions in front of her in person. Because remember, at the time, Yume and Dakaido had broken up October 17th, 18th, TwitchCon weekend. So there was a good couple of weeks for her to I don't know, come clean because she was probably seeing Dakaido in between then. In between, not to mention that TwitchCon weekend was the slide we mentioned earlier about us having a private moment during a break. So not one, not two, but at least three times she could have said something. But no, she doesn't see a problem in it being a game, being in a game. She doesn't see it being a problem if it's just the two of them wearing matching ghost face costumes on Halloween. Just the two of them. But I don't know. Anywho, that was my experience.
I appreciate you sharing it. And again, everybody that's watching, I want you to know that they do feel like you deserve to be heard for this. And I'm glad that you came to me. I appreciate it a lot.
I
I really do.
appreciate you. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. I just, overall, to be honest, other than just you and me, I want those that have been victims of these two or have been affected and lied to, even as a friend, I want you guys to realize that we're just two people talking about our story. There could be others out there that are silent because of these two trying to clean up their mess behind the scenes. Because me and partner one are well aware that these two were trying to clean up their mess after my post. And they were even trying to shut up partner one. And that's the thing right there. That's proof right there that these people wanted to admit that they did wrong, but by silencing the people that got hurt. So again, thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for giving me your permission for having you in the stream. I'm gonna let you go so that way you can process how you feel tonight, and I hope you do heal well on your journey. Thank you so much, partner one.
Thank you.
I honestly can only close this stream hoping that people out there know that I really don't bullshit this stuff. And the thing is, the reason I'm getting emotional is that I've been silenced before. And the thing is, Takaido knows that I used to get silenced for so long. And to think that he would think that I would go this far to try to be some kind of clout chaser or such. You're so fucked up for that because the thing is, you know exactly what I went through for being silenced. I'm not gonna tell you guys in chat because it's a very, very obviously unrelatable hurt that I had, but I've been silenced for so long by that trauma. And it kind of hurts me to see that people getting hurt are getting silenced, especially when we're all adults here. Especially on a platform like this, when we're supposed to be standing up and support those that don't get silenced. We're supposed to be encouraging people to speak up for themselves. We're supposed to be there for everyone. We're supposed to be idols and influencers and inspirations for kids out there, for young adults, and for even older adults someday. But you both, Takaido and Nyx, you guys are not idols. You guys are not good influencers. You guys are not inspirations. And I want you both to know that the both of you need to take the responsibility of realizing that you both are so fucked up for trying to tell us to stay quiet, for trying to portray that I'm the one telling lies, or trying to tell and use our friends to get information out of me so that way they can silence the other people out there that are telling me the truth. You realize how fucked up that is? And the thing is, I'm gonna tell this to you, Takaido. You know deep down, I know deep down in you, I'm pretty sure you hate the fact that you became this kind of person. And I hope to God, I hope to anything up there that anyone believes in, or you believe in, even ancestors and such, whatever. I hope you do get the help that you need. I hope you do get some realization of what you have to reflect on yourself. I hope that you do grow to be a better person, and not just for us here, but for yourself. You're still young. You're 22 years old.
You can make up for the shitty things that you just did. You still have a journey to try to be better. But I'm not gonna be there, nor is anybody else gonna be there for you. You have to go through this alone, and that's what it's like. It's gonna be terrifying, but it's okay. You're gonna eventually realize it's okay. And honestly, for you, Nyx, you lived long enough to know that you shouldn't be doing shit like this. And you know damn well that if you're gonna be some type of woman that supports how people should be treated right or how people should be given fairness and such, and people shouldn't be used or having that excuse of abandonment and such, then stop playing a game with people's feelings. This is not a game, like I said. These are people's lives. These are people that truly did thought that they could love you. Like partner one said, he truly thought he could. Or even if partner two, the one that's 2 years with you, he probably loved you for whatever you've gone through. But that doesn't mean for you to hurt other people so that way you could feel happy. So please, leave people's happiness alone. Leave some people alone. If you're so vicious and jealous, don't do it on people out there. There's people that are good out there that don't deserve to be treated like a piece of a fucking game of whatever you think that it's okay to control of. It's not okay to do that. And overall, all the friends out there that became Dekaidos or Nyx's snitches, I know who you are. I know exactly what your names are, but I'm not gonna drop your names because I'm gonna be a genuine, actual kind person and not even be outing your asses. But I'm gonna tell you guys this. Not once in my life would I stab people behind the back like that. I don't silence people. And if you're that type, then you can leave out the door and don't be my friend. You can go hurt other people because that's how you guys are going to be like, then go. But again, reflect on yourselves and realize that you guys are going to hurt people. And like I said this before in many, many streams before, people hurt people. But it's the only people that realize it that will end up being good people. And stop. Are you going to be those people that are going to stop? And I don't care if I lose friends because of this. I don't care if I'm blacklisted. I don't care if I lose brand deals or such from this. I don't want the numbers. I don't want the likes. But I'm going to keep this as a public post. This VOD is going to permanently be everywhere. And it will remain as a reminder that this community, this content creating space of people thinking they have freedom because they're anonymous behind a character, or even when they're not behind a character and they're like a face cam streamer or IRL streamer, whatever. You guys, I thought we were supposed to represent that we're better. I want you guys to think about that. Like I told you guys, I'm not going to be able to be a better person within the next day or two. I feel like I'm still a shitty ass person. But at least at the end of the day, I try to go see help to fix it. And I don't use my friends, I don't use my partners as a way to heal whatever the fuck I have. I actually seek professional help. Or I even try to physically like help my mental or my physical self, like going to the gym and not depending on others. Like I really am doing what I can to heal, and obviously I'm doing what I can to be strong, to realize that I have faults that will still remain even if I try to fix them. They will still keep on staying.
someone that can be permanent. And the thing is, this is why you have to be self aware. And if you can't be, then you have to do a lot of thinking of yourself before you even get yourself involved with anyone out there, or even involved with a group of people, or just one individual that thought that whatever facade or mask that you held in front of them cherishing you, don't ruin the good people out there, please. Just stop. Honestly, I feel like we're losing the good people now. The good people out there that could be honestly the best out there, and I feel like we're losing bits and pieces of ourselves because of this. So again, I'll be ending the stream here, but on a positive note, I will be continuing streaming as I usually do. Things will proceed as usual, but as of right now, I do want to give myself a break, but I do want everybody to recover from this kind of deep, serious talk. At the same time, please, you guys, realize the people around you are good if they are. And keep them close to you as much as you can until they can't stay. And if you feel like you have some vicious, malicious intent of doing something, the worst thing, lock yourself in a room and do whatever you have to do. But keep the phones away, keep the laptops away, keep the computers away. Don't harm anyone in the way. I love you all. I am okay. I'm gonna go seek therapy sometime next week to talk to my therapist about this, but I'm honestly glad that I'm brave, and I give myself the pat on the back for that, to talk about this. And I'm proud of the people that were able to tell me. I want you guys to know that. And I appreciate all of you. You guys have a good night.